This has been FPP Radio News, online at fppradio.com.
Jack Daniels announced today its plan to start marketing directly to children, adding, quote, "Why not?" Executives for the whiskey company told reporters that they've already slated dozens of television spots showing 10-year-old children drinking tumblers of Jack and Coke in playgrounds, and that the company was planning on, quote, "just seeing how it all played out."
Every year, Jack Daniels sells millions of dollars of great American whiskey to men and women all over the world. So, for our next ad campaign, we basically just thought, hey, why not just start marketing this stuff straight to 10-year-olds? I mean, if they catch us, they catch us, but we'll see how far it goes, and hopefully we can sell some alcohol along the way. Sure, some parents groups could get upset, especially if we go with our idea of moms serving their kids cranberry jack at snack time. But
in other news, a doomed rabbit will teach an 8-year-old a lesson about responsibility, and a torrent of soap issues from a wildly unexpected part of the dispenser. Well, that was it. It's all downhill from here, bud. For more, visit theonion.com.
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live.
It is Free Talk Live, and you're invited to join us here. The toll-free number is 855-450-FREE, like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. Also, we've got Discord on-air call-in line rooms available and open for you. You can sound almost like you're sitting here in the studio with us. Just head over to our Discord server at discord.lrn.fm. It's a chat server. Mostly you can talk with other Free Talk Live listeners before, during, and after the show. And also it allows you to get on the air with us during the show. Again, discord.lrn.fm. With you in the studio tonight, it's Ian.
And Vin.
And Mark.
Vin Armani is joining us here from what was the Vin Armani show.
That's right.
At vinarmani.com. Still yes. vinarmani.com.
Absolutely.
New show.
Yes, I had been running the show for a while. The secondary show, yes, before I decided to put the Vin Armani show on a indeterminate hiatus. Yes.
Okay. Are you burned out?
No. I mean, I'm not burned out from the show. I was enjoying doing the actual show. I was just let's just say I got caught up in some crypto politics, and the audience was sort of responding to and demanding that I cover certain things that were, well, there was just no benefit to me to put certain targets on my back. So I would rather, in that world, the world of Bitcoin and cryptocurrency, I'm very agnostic. I don't take a lot of sides. I take sides in the world of liberty and how I feel about the illegitimacy of the state, and I think that's the battle to have, and that's the reason why I'm in cryptocurrency in the first place.
To take down the state.
That's correct.
To give people a form of money that they can use without having to ask the state's permission and the bank's permission.
That's right.
And I'm with you on this crypto agnosticism.
Yes.
I take the position that I want to use what works.
Mm-hmm.
And whatever that is in the moment, then that's what I'm going to be promoting.
That's right.
It used to be that Bitcoin worked, and then it became unworkable in 2017, and then these alternatives became more, became options for us, like Dash, and then Bitcoin Cash now is a thing. So whatever it is that is working, which is why over at cryptotip.org you can use both Dash and Bitcoin Cash to create printable cryptocurrency tips. We should talk about...
I really love the argument between Ford and Chevrolet. When the people that love these
I've
brands,
seen the thing with the Calvin from Calvin and Hobbes peeing on one of the other logos.
Exactly, yeah.
And so this is very much... All of this stuff is very much like sports or politics, where you pick your favorite millionaire and then you argue it into the dirt.
That's
well,
right.
Wait a second. The millionaire doesn't care about you.
That's right.
Whoever that might be.
They care if you keep going to their games.
They
That's
do,
about it.
but they're not going to invite you personally. Like I can tell you that, I don't know any professional football players. Colin Kaepernick has never sent me an email saying, Mark, I sure hope you make it to the 49ers game this weekend.
Did he ever get back to you? Because I know you'd reached out to try to book him for an interview.
No, he opened the somebody at Colin.
Don't say his email address on the air.
Somebody at that email address opened the two different emails, but no.
All right.
So
Yeah.
I was kind. I didn't have, there's nothing I want to argue with him about.
Of course. So, Vin Armani, you've started a new show to replace your old show. What's it called?
It's called Destination Unknown. It's with another Liberty head here in New Hampshire, Dave Butler. And
So y'all are in the same studio?
We're in the same studio.
Okay.
Yes.
That's different for your show because you used to have remote co-hosts.
Yes, it is. I mean, it's more of a conversation. We don't really do guests. And it's difficult to describe exactly what it is. It started just he and I would have these conversations on evenings. Sometimes I'd go over to his place and we'd have dinner and we'd go through about a bottle and a half of wine usually.
Okay.
And have these cool conversations where we'd be like, oh, we need to be recording this. So it's a lot of sort of, there's Liberty stuff in there, there's crypto stuff, but we get into like the history of money, history of symbolism and technology, and it's very, very interesting. He's a super well-read guy, and so it gives me a chance to flex some of the weird trivia that I've put together over the years.
Is it like esoteric?
It's very esoteric. People seem to really, really enjoy it, but we're both skeptics, so we stay away from the woo-woo stuff.
Gotcha.
Because I really think that the real things, the things that we have documented historical proof for and have just been sort of forgotten in the sands of time are much more interesting.
Give me an example of one of those, like something you would have covered on a recent show.
So we did shows on
Building 7.
That's not too far into the past. No, we've done shows about ancient technologies, and we've talked about things like the Antikythera mechanism. We talked about.
I've never heard of that.
Exactly. We talked about Nabta Playa, which is like this very, very ancient, almost like Stonehenge in the Nubian desert that was used for tracking the stars thousands of years before the Egyptian empire came about.
Even started, yeah.
Yeah, so it's like there are all of these sort of weird anachronisms throughout history, and it's great
Egypt,
to cover them.
An inventor named Hero created a novelty steam engine that apparently flew around.
There you go.
And also, now, it's a piece of technology, even if it was for entertainment purposes. Also, on the Peloponnesian Peninsula in Greece, that very small part that separates the two sides of it, and I don't know, one's the Adriatic, and I don't know what the other side is, Aegean and Adriatic, maybe. There is a small part, and I'm just guessing it's like 30 miles long.
Okay.
But you have to go through there to get down to the Peloponnesian Peninsula, Sparta, and all that stuff. And across there, very small part, was a tracked, like train tracks made, so carts, but not trains. So carts that could be moved very easily. So they made a very good road with low resistance for wheels and stuff like that. Imagine if communication is the only thing that's separated Hero from his steam engine.
This is what I'm saying.
To this Peloponnesian
this is what I'm saying.
Railroad, basically, and how different the world would have been if trains had been invented. And I know it's a jump, but just imagine for a second if trains had been invented in 2500 BC instead of 1800 AD.
Yes, where would we be? So this is the type of conversation that we have on Destination Unknown. So you could see the direction that it takes. People seem to enjoy this show so far, and I'm enjoying doing it. And
how many episodes now?
I think we're at about 11 or this will be 12.
Right,
this will be 12. Yeah,
once a week, just like your old
once
show?
a week. It's every
Same
Friday.
day
Every Friday evenings.
Okay.
So
are you doing it live?
We're doing it live. Yeah. The tagline is 2 skeptics, 2 bottles of wine, 2 hours, and too much mysterious stuff for one conversation.
Oh,
that's
wow.
good. It's nice.
All right. Cool. So you guys are actually getting a little inebriated by the end of the show then.
Oh, yeah. I don't remember anything the last 20 minutes. But it sounds good on the replay, so,
Okay, that's good. Because that can go really bad.
It can,
I just want to say.
I'm an experienced drinker, so,
Right.
That's important. I will say that drunk people tend to believe that they are far more interesting than they are.
Right.
Yeah.
And if drunk people were, in fact, entertaining, bars would have stadium seating, right? We'd all go watch the drunk people.
Right.
But in fact, the opposite is true. Drunk people are so boring, you have to drink and make yourself dumber in order to be entertained by them at all.
This is true.
However, they have to pay. If you're a bartender, they're paying you to listen to their crap.
Yeah,
this is true.
In many cases, they simply will not. They'll just wander off.
So check out Vin's new show, which is Destination Unknown, over at vinarmani.com.
Yes, indeed.
All right, excellent. So we got stuff to talk about in the news here tonight. The Catalans are back in the streets in a big way.
Nice.
One of our listeners submitted this over on our Free Talk Live Reddit, which you can go to freetalklive.com and click Show Topics, and you can see that there, or vote on topics. 1 million of them back in the streets, according to France24.com, rallying in Barcelona today, banging drums and blowing whistles in a show of support for independence nearly a year after a failed attempt to break away from Spain. Can you imagine if we could get a tenth of this amount of people to come out and do anything in the United States? Especially supporting independence, supporting secession, which is what this is all about.
I'm sorry, I cannot imagine it.
It's amazing. The picture here is, of course, just full. It's some sort of large street in Barcelona, just full to the gills with protesters waving flags. We'll tell you more about what they did here in moments. Your calls and thoughts also on the way. And welcome at 855-450-FREE, 855-450-3733. This is Free Talk Live.
Happier. Her fur is so much shinier, silkier, softer. She has really mellowed a lot.
Sheba is 105 lean pounds of shiny, smooth, happy dog for life.
The shedding has stopped. The itching has stopped.
Since 2001, we've helped more than 250,000 dogs get over their nutritional deficiency miseries.
And saved our customers bazillions in vet bills.
Everything we tried failed except the Dynovite.
Come to Dynovite for help.
DINOVITE.com.
If you want the dog to be healthy, you got to feed it something healthy.
The omega-3 fatty acids, flaxseed, zinc, alfalfa, the digestive enzymes that are cooked out of regular dog food.
Dynovite is nutrition.
Dynovite for life.
Don't let your dog itch, scratch, stink, or shed like crazy.
Come to Dynovite for help.
859-428-1000.
859-428-1000.
DINOVITE.com.
What's more profitable, running your business or doing bookkeeping? Doing your business, of course, but you want to keep your books so that you can maximize your tax savings, right? What if I told you that there's a person that's a bookkeeper, accountant, and law school graduate that's also a hardcore libertarian?
My name is Melanie Johnson, and I hate the state. I will aggressively help you to minimize your tax exposure and maximize profits, all while staying within the law.
Melanie's your best choice for your taxes and bookkeeping needs. Go to tax.freetalklive.com and check out our website, tax.freetalklive.com.
Zencash is now Horizon. Horizon is a privacy platform built on zero-knowledge technology with a decentralized secure node architecture. The Horizon platform enables real-life uses beyond currency, including the ability to privately chat with other people. Soon, Horizon will enable you to publish information and go anywhere on the web, all with complete privacy. Horizon, bringing privacy to life. Learn more at horizon.global. HORIZEN.global.
The Free State Project has reached its goal of 20,000 liberty lovers who've pledged to move to New Hampshire and get active to achieve liberty in our lifetime. Perhaps you're trying to figure out what part of New Hampshire should be your destination. If so, consider Keene. You'll find more than 150 reasons to move to Keene at move.freekeene.com. Keene is famous for its historic, publicity-generating activism, as well as being the liberty media capital of the world. It's home to freekeene.com, New Hampshire's destination for liberty activism, news, and opinion. For years, we've been compiling over 150 reasons to move to Keene at move.freekeene.com, where you'll learn about some of what's happening here and what makes Keene a great place to live. If you love liberty, you'll probably enjoy anywhere you end up in the Shire. But do your due diligence first. Please visit move.freekeene.com for the full list of over 150 reasons to move to Keene. That's move.freekeene.com. Did you know you can watch Free Talk Live during our live show 7 days a week from 7 to 10 p.m. Eastern via our studio cams at cam.freetalklive.com? Plus, you can chat with other listeners while you watch, all totally free. Now that our live video stream is hosted by YouTube, our video archives will be online even faster, so be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Listen, watch, and chat all free at cam.freetalklive.com. That's cam.freetalklive.com.
Cell 411 is a free app for Android and iOS that replaces government-controlled 911. Cell 411 allows you to preset a group of friends or private organizations to show up at any emergency. Cell 411 is a nightmare for the state because it proves their so-called services aren't needed. Cell 411 has had thousands of installs, and of course it's covered by the BIPCOT no government license. Cell 411 because your friends won't shoot you when you're in trouble. Without the government, who would build the emergency services? You and Cell 411. Get it today at getcell411.com.
This is the Liberty Radio Network, broadcasting the latest liberty-oriented audio content 24 hours a day at LRN.FM.
Hey, it's Free Talk Live. You're invited to join us here on the radio. Our toll-free number for you is 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. And we've also got Discord. The Discord on-air call-in lines are available to you over at discord.lrn.fm. You get the Discord app at their website or through your Google App Store or Apple App Store. And get your account set up, and then just go to discord.lrn.fm in your browser, and that'll pop you right into our chat server. Also, I want to make sure you know about Blink Home Security. It is a system that can help you protect your family and your property. Mark, you've got it at home.
Yeah,
We've
it's
got
great.
it here at the studio, and it really couldn't be any easier to set this system up. They're wireless cameras, and so battery operated. They come with the batteries that you need. They're not some obscure battery. They're AA's, so when it's time to replace them, which, by the way, I think we've had ours for like a year now.
I haven't replaced mine either.
I have not yet replaced the batteries on it. So they say they will last for 2 years, and I believe them thus far. Blink also is super easy to set up because when you unbox, you put the batteries in, it's all a wireless setup because you just pop the cameras up wherever you want them, and then you just set it up on your Wi-Fi.
I think you can do it. I'm pretty confident in saying you can do it in 10 minutes.
Are you including the unboxing and all that?
No, I would say
I would say a half hour if you're
taking everything out, reading the instructions through a full time, but
still pretty good.
I think you should leave a half an hour. Yeah,
you just turn them on, and
you should leave a half an hour. But I don't think it's going to take you. I think if you smaller house, ability to do it is relatively easy.
No contracts, no subscriptions, and Blink works with Alexa. That's because Blink is now an Amazon company. They bottom up. You can get 3 Blink cameras for way less than the other guys, plus an extra 15% off. Visit blinkprotect.com/FTL. That's /FTL like Free Talk Live. Because you're a Free Talk Live listener, you save 15%. Blinkprotect.com/FTL. As we go to the phone, we'll talk more about the Catalonian protests. 1 million, an estimated 1 million people in the streets of Barcelona today, celebrating or protesting the idea of secession. They want to secede from Spain, and we'll talk about that. It's not a good reason necessarily because they just want more socialism, but ultimately I still support them in their desire for secession. We go to the phones, though, to the fun. First up, it's Ron in New York. Ron, you're on Free Talk Live with Ian, Vin, and Mark.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, Ron, go ahead.
Okay. So, what are your thoughts on the primaries today? Because I know you guys live in New Hampshire, and they have the primaries today in New Hampshire.
We do have a primary today in New Hampshire. So I'm not sure what your question is, though. What are our thoughts on them? I mean, it'd be nice if they didn't exist.
I agree.
Well, first of all, do you think Andy Sanborn has a chance? And also, which Libertarian do you endorse for governor?
Yeah, so I don't really think it's useful to talk about local political races on an international radio show because nobody knows who Andy Sanborn is, who's outside of New Hampshire. Probably many people inside of New Hampshire don't know who Andy Sanborn is.
I don't know who Andy Sanborn is.
Since you brought it up, I will say that he did win one of the top Liberty Awards from or ratings from the New Hampshire Liberty Alliance.
He asked if he had a chance, though.
I haven't the slightest clue.
I think he has a chance. Yes, the answer is yes, he has a chance. Will he win? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. And as far as governor, it is worth pointing out, I guess, we can generally say that in New Hampshire, we actually have a Libertarian primary for governor for the first time.
2 people running. It's amazing.
Forever. The Libertarian Party has not been on the ballot as an official party in 22 years in New Hampshire, and it is this year for the first time ever. So there's actually a Libertarian primary.
That's something.
Where we actually had 2 Libertarians file, and there was a debate between the two libertarians.
Wow.
The New Hampshire Public Radio actually invited both of those. So the Libertarian Party of New Hampshire had a debate that I recorded video of. That's on the Free Keene YouTube channel. Then New Hampshire Public Radio invited both of those candidates in, had them in for an hour on their show. So I have commented, and I think this is worth pointing out, this is good. I'm glad there's a challenged primary because it means that the Libertarian race is getting media attention.
That's right.
The media, the way they handle things, at least here in New Hampshire and probably in a lot of places, is they focus only on the primary challenges up until the primary. They ignore all the other candidates, understandably.
Yep.
They don't, they've only got a certain amount of media time and they give it to the primary
Yeah, they want the
candidates.
conflict.
Right. So because there is a challenged primary means that the Libertarian candidates got more airtime to talk about Libertarian ideas on state radio, which I think is ultimately a good thing.
It's a good thing.
I've got a favorite, but if the other one wins, I will still be fine and
either way,
good luck.
Whichever candidate ends up winning the primary tonight, they're still a better choice than the Republican or Democrat,
100%.
Whoever they end up being, Ron.
Well,
so,
I'm pretty sure I know who the Republican nominee is going to be for governor.
Oh, he doesn't have anybody opposing him, right?
Right,
There's no primary.
the current governor is going to be the nominee.
So there you go, Ron. I mean, again, I don't want to get into any more real details. I think that's helpful to explain to people, hey, New Hampshire's a special place. We actually have a Libertarian primary here because we've got a big enough Libertarian movement, and there's this migration, of course, that's ongoing, where people who care about freedom from all around the country and around the world, then you move from Vegas.
From Vegas, yeah.
And we've had people move from as far away as Russia to come here to New Hampshire. So I would invite everybody who is interested in libertarian politics or not, just wants to live more free, to make the move here to New Hampshire. Because Vin, you had told us before we went on the air that you didn't vote in the primary today, and that you are anti-voting.
Yes, I don't vote based on principle.
And we should get into that. Ron,
I'd love to hear what that principle is.
Any other thoughts you want to share tonight?
Neither ballots nor bullets.
I read that apparently the socialist Bernie Sanders, I read his son was running for that open congressional seat.
Yeah, I heard about that. I heard Sanders' son is in the race for a Democrat primary.
Yuck.
And thanks, Ron, for the call tonight. I appreciate it. The toll-free number here tonight is 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. So what's the principle on which you are basing not voting?
The principle is that the state is an institution of coercive violence, and by voting, anything that I vote on, whether or every law is just an opinion with a gun.
That's true.
And so no matter whether I'm voting in referenda style, like in California, where I'm voting on actual laws that are going to be on the books, or whether I'm voting for an individual, unless my one caveat is this. Unless a candidate, and maybe I would only vote for them on the second go-around in this case because I would want to see that it was true, unless a candidate said, the only thing that I am going to do is I'm going to go up there, and the only things that I will vote yes on are to remove laws or to enshrine liberties. So either decriminalization or enshrinement, saying that the government may never touch this particular activity. If that's what they said, I might actually consider voting for that individual.
Because isn't it possible to defensively vote? Meaning
yes, it
that
is.
You know that the government is going to do violence.
Yes.
And you know that ultimately there's this supposedly open process in which the heads of the gang are chosen.
Right.
And so, can you choose a less violent head of the gang, or one who actually pledges to, only
in his case,
vote?
a non-violent head of a gang?
Right.
That's the only. That's the only way.
Because those people exist here in New Hampshire.
That's right. But I'm going to go with Lord Acton and the
power corrupts and absolute power corrupts. Absolutely.
Well, and the whole thing about it is that its power tends to corrupt.
It tends.
But it tends to corrupt.
Really tends.
But he says, but absolute power corrupts absolutely, meaning if it's absolute power, you will absolutely be corrupt.
Well,
so,
sure. And
a member of a 400-person legislature probably doesn't have absolute power.
But yet, it does have power, not much power.
Right.
And
but
it's
corrupting.
We've seen a free stater, more than one of them, become corrupted by
I know
this.
which young lady you're talking about.
More coming up.
Hunters, anglers, campers, and survivalists. Get back to nature. Expand your horizons with the highest quality, most versatile, unique slingshots and sling bows on the market at slingbow.com. Slingbow products are compact and models start from just $17.98. They're perfect for your bug-out bag or storing in your vehicle. Give yourself and your loved ones the excitement and tradition of Slingbow, a new frontier in archery and truly modern twist on this primitive survival tool. Feel the thrill only at slingbow.com.
Most of you know that heart disease is the #1 silent killer in the U.S. What if I told you for just $54.95 a month you could fight against heart disease naturally? At Heart and Body Extract, we've been helping thousands of people get back to a healthier heart. Don't just take my word for it. Check out all of the success stories at hbextract.com, or to order, call 866-295-5305. That's 866-295-5305. hbextract.com. Don't risk it when you can take charge of it.
This is Michael Dean from the Freedom Fiends. I've run websites since 1996 and have used over a dozen web hosts in that time. AgristHosting.com is the only one that hasn't broken my heart. Agrist Hosting's uptime and service is stellar, and their DDoS mitigation is the best I've seen. That's important because if you tell the truth in this world, you'll ruffle feathers. And some people will try dirty tricks to silence your voice. No matter what the haters hit us with, Agrist Hosting keeps our websites online. If you have a mission-critical commercial presence or a world-changing activism site, you cannot tolerate any skullduggery. So go with agristhosting.com. Have a WordPress or blog site, but you're not satisfied with performance or uptime? Or just want raw hosting? Want to pay with Bitcoin? Agrist Hosting specializes in high-performance hosting with personalized service. Go to agristhosting.com and click on the button that says Get Hosted. That's agristhosting.com.
We've all heard about blockchain assets like Dogecoin, Ether, and Ripple. Bitcoin isn't the only player in the blockchain game any longer. And for those of us wondering how to get our hands on these digital assets, finally, there's a solution. Shapeshift.io allows you to buy and sell between your digital assets and Bitcoin instantly between your own digital wallets. I've used it with ease. Shapeshift.io. There's no account or email address needed. You send them the crypto you want to sell. They send back the crypto you want to buy. It's that easy. Shapeshift.io.
Did you know we've taken our LRN.FM telephone listen line to a new level with the LRN.FM audio on demand line? Now you can call 712-770-8447 anytime and listen to LRN.FM's live feed. And you can listen to a bunch of our original shows on demand. Long distance fees may apply. Just dial 712-770-8447 and choose from the menu. 712-770-8447. Is spreading the message of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace around the globe worth $2 per month to you? As you may already know, in addition to our internet feed, LRN.FM broadcasts on free-to-air satellite across North and Central America, as well as Sub-Saharan Africa. And we've been available on satellite for free 24/7 since 2010. The LRN.FM free-to-air satellite signal is reaching some of the most oppressive regimes in the world, and there's no doubt our ideas are making an impact. You can learn more about the channel's impact by watching the 3-minute video at fund.lrn.fm. If you'd like to help free minds globally with our ideas of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace, you can donate as little as $2 per month via fund.lrn.fm. You can help us continue and expand our satellite broadcast to multiple continents. Visit fund.lrn.fm today, and thank you for your help. Don't forget to share the link on social media. That's fund.lrn.fm.
You can sign up to receive the latest about the Liberty Radio Network via our email updates at updates.lrn.fm. That's updates.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live. You can dial toll-free to join us here on the radio. Coming up, the Catalans are back in the streets in Catalonia, protesting in favor of independence from Spain. Approximately 1 million of them. We can tell you more about that on the way here. With you in the studio tonight, it's Ian.
And Vin.
And Mark.
And, of course, we'll take your calls and thoughts about whatever you want to discuss. Free Talk Live brought to you by Bitcoin.com. You may be new to cryptocurrency. Well, where better to start than the most obvious URL, Bitcoin.com. They got some great beginner's information there. They've got the Bitcoin.com Academy that you ought to take a few minutes and go through and learn the basics about cryptocurrency and Bitcoin Cash and Bitcoin BTC. You can go to Bitcoin.com to do that. That's where you can also buy some Bitcoin and Bitcoin Cash and do a whole bunch of other things, like get connected to their news website over at news.bitcoin.com, where they're always following some of the latest stories and headlines from around the globe.
They've got a great YouTube channel that...
Yeah, you've been watching that a lot.
Yeah, I watch every episode of it, and I'm just impressed with the innovation that's going on. There's constantly some new business that's adopting Bitcoin Cash, which they're big proponents of Bitcoin Cash. There's no doubt about it.
You mean like Cointext.io?
Yeah. Yes, they talk about my company quite a bit on that YouTube channel.
Where you can text Bitcoin Cash to people internationally.
Yes, you can. And but we are going to be launching, in addition to new countries, before probably the end of the year. Already the software is ready and secretly live for some. BTC, Litecoin, Dash.
Whoa.
I've added Ravencoin.
Sweet.
And perhaps Smart Cash as well.
Very exciting. All right, so Bitcoin.com, go there, learn about Bitcoin and cryptocurrency. Great place to do that. So toll-free number tonight, again, 855-450, free like freedom. Let's go to Terrence. He's on the line, calling from Billyburg. Where is Billyburg, Terrence?
Oh, that's Williamsburg. We call it Billyburg.
Oh, okay.
Makes sense.
And I still don't know where it is.
Well, it's in Brooklyn. It's in New York City.
Oh, see, I wouldn't have guessed that at all. All right, you're on the air.
I was thinking Virginia.
Yeah.
No problem. On today's day like today, obviously, a lot of people being patriotic. It makes me think about all the people that have sacrificed so that we can have freedom. And, you know, the types of freedoms like being able to wear a shirt or not wear a shirt. And, like, I'm not wearing a shirt, for example.
Thanks for the call tonight, Terrence. I appreciate it. So there's the Twitch listeners have been calling about me being shirtless or not shirtless because when it's warm out, I will frequently come in and do the show topless, and so it's sort of become a thing now. And
what sort of thing?
I don't know. Some of them are really into my shirt status, apparently, and they've been calling about it. And if you preface it with something creative like that, I'm okay with it. But if all you do is call and ask about why I'm not wearing a shirt, that's pretty boring. So kudos to that caller. He did a good job with it. But he did bring up 9/11.
If you wonder if somebody's wondering why you're not wearing a shirt, that's a fair thing to call about, right?
No, but they'll call to complain when I am wearing a shirt as well.
Okay.
Because they want you to be shirtless.
They want me to be shirtless.
Ah,
yeah.
That's quite the compliment, actually.
Yeah, I mean, I will take the compliment, but like I said, unless you do something creative with it, like that caller did,
right. And he certainly did,
then it's boring otherwise. So anyway,
the creative troll.
But he did bring up 9/11, and I had totally forgotten that it's 9/11 today. As we're
I mentioned
doing
Building
show.
7. Please do not blame me for Ian forgetting things.
Right, you didn't forget.
No, I did not.
But I totally spaced it. And I think you did as well, Vin.
I had spaced it coming in here, but I definitely got a lot of memes today.
Did you?
Yeah, there were lots of memes. I follow some really good Liberty meme folks.
So, so 9/11, what has it been now? Let's see, that's 17 years ago today that the attacks happened.
Gosh.
Some people are still obsessing over this, trying to figure out what the truth was, and the truth is, whatever the story is behind 9/11, the government got bigger as a result. They used it as an excuse to invade more of your freedoms.
That's right.
To destroy more of your freedoms, to make it more restrictive at airports.
Yep.
Increase the size of their bureaucracy. The Department of Homeland Security was formed and
didn't exist before,
right? And created, and you got the NSA, of course, snooping on all kinds of things. I mean, it's 9/11 is certainly not a very pleasant landmark in the history of the United States from a freedom perspective.
All those things are true. The government certainly got bigger and all that stuff. I would say that there's on the converse side, the 9/11 truth movement was largely, if not entirely, ineffective. So
they were pretty effective at being annoying.
Well,
I would agree with that.
What I'm going to say is that nothing's changed as a result of the 9/11 truth movement. I think that more people out there probably wonder about Building 7, and I do too. I wonder.
That's the third one that didn't get hit by any planes that went down.
I'm very, very curious about these things, but it hasn't resulted in me going and researching much. So if you wanted to get me to research, that didn't work.
Well, what are you going to find out? The government's corrupt and evil? I mean, we already know that.
We know that.
Yeah, if one way or the other, the government is corrupt and evil, and it's just like the JFK conspiracy theory that basically people have come out now on deathbeds confessing that this thing happened and that thing happened. It looks all very suspicious as far as JFK and what happened, and nobody cares. The textbooks haven't changed. They're just continuing to go on like nothing
With
changed.
the official story.
And at some point or another, everybody who remembers JFK being shot is going to be dead. And the story is not going to have changed. From a historical standpoint, the JFK conspiracy theory movement, which has to be the most robust and successful in history, did nothing. And the 9/11 Truth movement.
Well, you can't say it did nothing.
The next.
I mean,
well, what did it do?
You can't say it did nothing because there are going to be people who will say, oh, well, the 9/11 truthers woke me up. I believed everything the government said, and then I saw this, movie from Alex Jones or Loose Change or whatever it was, and it woke me up to the reality that government is lying and evil. And you know what? There's something there.
Do just as much good in getting people involved in democratic politics. Don't forget, Rosie O'Donnell was a 9/11 truther too, right? So there's plenty of people who just decided that they're either more thoroughly ensconced in their democratic politics or became thoroughly ensconced in democratic politics.
Sure, it's not particularly libertarian. It's not a libertarian movement or anything like that.
Some people would claim it was.
Well, right. Some people will claim Alex Jones is a libertarian.
If there was an equal number of people
Trump-supporting libertarian.
Yeah.
If there were an equal number of people that were woken up and put into the liberty side and to the people that were woken up and put into the democratic side, I'd call that a net loss.
Yeah.
I mean, I think the one thing that it definitely did was the fact that I think everybody now understands that Al-Qaeda was, and I think that it's pretty much consensus that people understand, oh yeah, the U.S. initially at least funded Al-Qaeda. I think getting into these sorts of putting into the cultural zeitgeist the idea that
it's a great word.
Our government may actually be funding these people who are our enemies. I think that realization
valuable.
I think that had something to do with the reason why we are not at war in a hot war in Syria right now, because I think the American people, to a certain degree, did get wised up to be like, I think maybe the CIA is actually like behind these people. That was new. That was new in the culture, and I think it was
new,
valuable.
but it added to it. So Saddam Hussein, of course, ISIS,
but nobody knew. But before, I think the 9/11 truth
everybody
movement,
knew that Saddam Hussein was a puppet of a U.S. client state.
I mean, did they though? I don't feel like I did until the war actually popped off and the movement that was, because I mean, I was part of the protest movement, which by the way was memory hold. We're talking about 1 million people in Catalonia, but there were millions in 2003 when the bombs started dropping in Iraq all over the world. Where's that story? The biggest, most record-breaking protests in almost every major city in the world, and memory hold. I mean, I remember being in LA and I had never experienced anything. Down Hollywood Boulevard was a sea of people. Wow. Memory hold. Like all of this is if
California should secede. I mean, that's the kind of representation they're getting. I don't even know what you're talking about. This is from a historical standpoint.
Look up 2003 or look up Iraq War protests on Wikipedia. It will blow your mind as to how many people worldwide on a single day.
We will continue here. Your calls and thoughts are welcome, and the toll-free number for you to join us is 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. Ian, Vin, and Mark in the studio here tonight. Also, we've got the Discord on-air call-in lines that are open and available to you on our Discord server at discord.lrn.fm. You can join us on the radio.
Does your dog itch, scratch, stink, or shed like crazy? Come to Dynavite for help.
Order a 90-day supply of Dynavite.
Dynavite is nutrition.
Pick up 2 bottles of Lico Chops, get the 3rd bottle free.
New improved Lico Chops with omega-3, omega-6, vitamin E.
And now, 6 extra direct-fed microbials.
Even better for the digestive tract and immune system.
Try Lico Chops. Buy 2, get 1 free.
At Dynavite.com.
DINOVITE.com.
Your property and your family are precious. Protect them with Blink, like we have. Blink motion-activated HD cameras are wire-free, set up fast, and their batteries last up to 2 years. And Blink's live feed option lets you monitor what's happening at home anytime, anywhere from your smartphone. No contracts, no subscriptions, and Blink works with Alexa. You can get 3 Blink cameras for way less than the other guys, plus an extra 15% off. Visit blinkprotect.com/FTL. blinkprotect.com/FTL.
I'm Jay Farner, CEO of Quicken Loans. Buying a home should be one of life's best experiences, but today's fluctuating interest rates can leave you with unexpected higher payments. And that can turn a great experience into an anxious one. At Quicken Loans, we've created a new way to protect you from unpredictable interest rates. It's called the power buying process. We check your income, assets, and credit to provide you with a verified approval, which can give you the strength of a cash buyer. Once verified, you qualify for our exclusive Rate Shield approval. First, we lock your interest rate for up to 90 days while you find your new home. Then, once you've found your new home, if rates have gone up, your rate stays locked. But if rates have gone down, your rate drops, and you get to keep that new lower rate. Either way, you win. Call us today at 800-QUICKEN or go to rocketmortgage.com.
Rate Shield approval only valid on certain 30-year fixed-rate loans. Call for cost information and conditions. Equal housing lender. Licensed in all 50 states. NMLS number 3030. Additional conditions or exclusions may apply.
A report released Tuesday by physicists at Stanford University revealed that the entire known universe, from the whole of human civilization to the totality of matter and energy, is actually the fictional setting of a cop show called Hard Case. According to authors of the report, existence as we know it was created solely to provide the framework for the primetime drama that airs weekly in a parallel universe, and that every historical event prior to the show's September 2008 pilot, including the Renaissance, World War II, evolution, the September 11th attacks, and the presidential administrations of Washington through Clinton, never actually happened and are merely part of the elaborate backstory crafted by Hard Case creator and showrunner Dominic Egan.
We used to believe that our universe operated under immutable laws of thermodynamics and gravitational relativity, but now we know everything just comes from the minds of Hard Case's 12 staff writers. Overall, it seems like a very well-written show.
Physicists have theorized that the universe as we know it will cease to exist whenever Hard Case airs its final episode.
This is the Onion News Network.
If you want to know the latest about Free Talk Live before we go on the air, all you need to decide is how you want it delivered. It's your choice. Visit news.freetalklive.com. You can get emailed announcements and participate in contests via our email updates list. Plus, we have a Twitter account that you can follow and a Facebook page where you can become a fan. So visit news.freetalklive.com to get news about Free Talk Live as soon as it's announced and the way you want it delivered at news.freetalklive.com. That's news.freetalklive.com.
When you hear the word lobbyist, you probably think about greedy corporations, but not all lobbyists are the same. Some are fighting for the freedoms you hold dear. Liberty Lobby LLC is doing just that in New Hampshire, working hard to represent you, not some special interest group. You can help by going to libertylobby.info, where your contribution will give us the tools we need to ensure that your voice is heard. Visit libertylobby.info today to find out more.
What's up next? Visit the Liberty Radio Network program guide to find out at shows.lrn.fm. That's shows.lrn.fm.
Hey, it's Free Talk Live. You're invited to join us on the radio. Toll-free number here is 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. We do have a video feed over on our Twitch channel. There's a YouTube version as well. The YouTube is an SD version, whereas video on Twitch is in HD quality.
Which standard definition is what SD stands for?
Correct. That's correct. HD, of course, high definition. And you can enjoy that over at twitch.lrn.fm. That'll jump you right over to our channel there. Please give us a follow. You do need a Twitch account for that. Of course, they're free. So follow the channel, and then you'll get notices whenever it is that we go live, and also other shows on the same channel, because it's the LRN.FM channel. So when Will Coley's show, The Call to Freedom, is on, you'll get a notice for that too. Vincent on his Saturday night show, you'll get a heads up there. So check it out, twitch.lrn.fm. Thanks to everybody who's following us there. Over 450 followers now, and I think about 30 subscribers. Those are people who are throwing us their Twitch subscription. Most, I think, like almost all of the 30 people or so are doing what's called Twitch Prime, where if you have Amazon Prime, one of the perks that you get, you may not even know this.
I didn't know this.
One of the perks you get is you get one subscription per month for Twitch. And you can apply that subscription to whatever your favorite channel is on Twitch. So if the LRN.FM channel is your favorite channel, you can apply that to us. But the thing is, you have to do it every single month. So it resets every month. And so you actually have to be active and watching the channel and remember to go and reapply the subscription, which is something that you've done, Mark. So if Mark can do it, anybody can apply their subscription to the LRN.FM channel.
It's pretty easy.
It's brutal, but it's true.
Okay, fair enough.
So we're going to continue with your calls and thoughts here. Check it out over twitch.lrn.fm as we go to the phones, to the fun. Actually, we're going to the Discord on-air call-in line, where Will is on the line in Canada. Go ahead, Will.
Hey, what's up, guys?
Hey, you're on the air.
Will.
Oh, sorry, I wasn't ready for that. Sorry.
Here you are. It's time.
Hi, I wasn't ready for that.
All right. Well, you've been on hold for more than a segment, so are you ready now? All right, we're going to let you go. Toll-free number tonight.
Poor Will's hyperventilating.
Yeah, it's intense.
It
when
is
you're getting on the radio.
I remember the first time.
Boy,
the first time I was on the radio at Oldies 108 for the back to school thing we did for Haitians. We put like a whole bunch of.
Because you went to Haiti.
I did. I went to Haiti to deliver school items to school kids in Haiti out of the Hospital, or probably just Hospital Albert Schweitzer, and it was a really intense event, and then they interviewed me on the way back, and it's got to be the worst interview in radio history. I literally felt like lightheaded.
So wait, you were in the studio?
I was in studio.
Okay,
I mean, with people that I knew.
David and Christina, the morning show.
No, it was Pete Jarrett in the afternoon.
Yeah,
so I mean, people I know very well, and something I had just done. I had just had a hair-raising, bumpy ride in an American Eagle airplane from Haiti back to the United States, but. No, it was the radio interview that made me woozy and about ready to pass out. So.
Wow. Yeah, I know what it's like. It's it can be difficult. I'll still get when I'm a broadcast professional, been on the air since I was 17. But if I call a radio show, I can feel the adrenaline rushing. Like I still get that sensation. It can be a little intense. Let's continue here. We got Don calling us from Exeter, New Hampshire. Don, you're on Free Talk Live. Are you listening to us on the radio?
Yeah.
No, you're not. You're banned from the show. You're a liar, and you're not allowed to be on here. And so I'm just going to dump your call. I'm not going to bother banning you from the streams. Anyway, I don't want to keep explaining it, but that's the one guy that's not allowed to call the show because he keeps calling about the same thing over and over again. Don't do that. If you're going to call Free Talk Live, please call about something new when you call the show, not the same thing over and over. Because if we get bored, that means our listeners are getting bored.
This is true.
Unacceptable. So you can call about anything you want, just not the same thing over and over. Make sense? Let's go on.
Makes sense.
So we were talking about the just incredibly large protests going on in Catalonia today. France24.com reporting on what was estimated to be 1 million Catalans in the streets in Barcelona, banging drums, blowing whistles in a show of support for independence, nearly a year after a failed attempt to break away from Spain.
A whistle's a good idea because, you yell and your voice is going to go hoarse.
Wearing coral red T-shirts and waving the red, yellow, and blue Catalan separatist flag, a sea of protesters gathered for the rally on Catalonia's National Day, which commemorates Barcelona's fall to troops loyal to Spain's King Philip V in 1714. The annual Diada holiday has, since 2012, been used to stage a massive rally, calling for secession for the wealthy northeastern region with its own distinct language. But this year's event had a particular significance as a test of strength after a referendum last October and the Catalan Parliament's unilateral declaration of independence on October 27th all came to naught. Demonstrators climbed on each other's shoulders to form human towers, a Catalan tradition, while others carried yellow and black signs that read, "Free Catalan political prisoners now," a reference to Catalan separatist leaders in jail awaiting trial over last year's independence bid. Let's take you back just a moment before we talk more about what has happened today in Catalonia to what happened a year ago, which is what they're referring to here, where there was an actual vote that was held. And you want to talk about a vote that mattered in this case, Vin, because in this case, the government brought out the shock troops to actually try to stop people from casting a vote. They were literally, there's video footage of shock troops, like stormtroopers with, the body armor, the black helmets, everything.
They look like Darth Vader.
Coming into voting locations. There's one where this lady's like climbing up, trying to go up a flight of stairs. She gets pulled back by her hair, if I recall correctly, by some thug, and they are just doing whatever kind of violence they can to these people who are just simply trying to vote as to whether or not the Catalonia region is to secede from Spain.
Well, this goes right to the saying that if it really mattered or if it could really change anything, they wouldn't allow you to vote. That proves it right there.
And so in this case, what you're saying is that the voting does change things.
No, what I'm saying is that if you can show up to a polling place and you're not getting attacked by shock troops and pulled downstairs by your hair, whatever you're there to cast a ballot for, you don't need to be there.
Well, let me rebut that, if I may. So in the case of these folks, they know exactly what they're voting for. They're voting for, do I want to be part of the Spanish government or don't I? And the Spanish government gets that. However, when you're dealing with, say, in the United States, where you've got a Liberty candidate on the ballot in New Hampshire, and look, I get it why you might not vote in any other state, in any other election. But if you feel like, there's a Liberty candidate in New Hampshire for whom you wish to vote, perhaps they've flown under the radar. Perhaps they haven't tripped the wires, and so the state government doesn't care that much. They also understand that it is unlikely that one single rep in 400 representatives is going to make a decisive vote. There are only a handful of votes that are decided by one vote within the legislature itself. So the likelihood that you are the one voter who votes in the candidate who is the one voter on an issue that is of importance,
that's unlikely.
Is pretty unlikely. So it is not worth rolling out a van load of Darth Raiders to kick you in your head.
Or in this case, 2 cruise ships full. They actually had in the harbor of Barcelona, they had essentially, how the cops can kind of you see it in the movies, right, where the cop will commandeer a car from somebody.
Yes.
They commandeered 2 cruise ships, and they brought them into the harbor.
They did.
Where they were hosts to these cruise ships, became hosts to police, state police from all across Spain were sitting and living in the Barcelona harbor. It was so bad what was happening that Warner Brothers had their characters on the sides of these cruise ships, right? Because they, sponsorship of the cruise ship, the characters are on the ship, and you take your kids on and you get to see, the Tweety Bird, whatever.
Yeah.
So their characters were on the side. Warner Brothers said, "You cover that up, or we're suing." And so there was a day on which, or a couple days on which, there was footage of the Warner Brothers characters being covered with these large black tarps that they draped down over the sides of the cruise ships because Warner Brothers didn't want to be associated with the police shock troops that were occupying the cruise ships. I mean, it was crazy.
It's intense.
So
it is amazing what the Spanish government has gotten away with historically in the last 100 years. If you look at what the Spanish government has gotten away with versus the rest of the European
100 years. What about the Inquisition?
Well, I understand, but I can't do anything about the Inquisition. There are people still alive that remember Franco and these sorts of things. And it was, the Civil War that went on was intense.
So the amount of police that they brought in for this, I mean, they literally brought in like every cop from the rest of, can you imagine 2 cruise ships sitting out in the harbor just full of cops? And can you imagine what those cops were doing on that cruise ship? And just, screwing
Debauchery.
off.
Yeah, absolutely.
There's more coming up here. The toll-free number here, 855-450-FREE. Huge numbers in the streets of Catalonia in favor of secession. That movement has not died out, despite being the attempted crushing of it last year when they had their historic vote. More on the way here. We can talk about secession. You can share your thoughts. Take control of the airwaves on Free Talk Live. Hour 2 is next.
Times are changing. The circus of politics, healthcare's low standards and high prices, and let's not forget food quality. What to do? Arm yourself with Life Change Tea at GetTheTea.com. In a world of chemical imbalance and poor air and water quality, it's time you make a move. Log on to GetTheTea.com and stock up on organic non-GMO supplements. Don't forget the tea. Cleansing your body never felt so good. And we have a brand new tea called Takedown Tea, which helps support healthy glucose. All natural body support so you can be at your best, naturally. All you have to do is log on to getthetea.com. That's getthetea.com. We're not a fad that comes and goes. We are the real deal. Join us and armor up. Getthetea.com. That's getthetea.com. Changing America's health one tea bag at a time.
Are you a cryptocurrency advocate? The Crypto Tip is the ideal outreach tool to help new people discover cryptocurrency. It's a printable business card-sized tip that you can give to service providers, preferably in addition to a good cash tip. When the server scans the QR code, it'll bring up an explanation of cryptocurrency, how to install a wallet, and allow them to claim the tip. If they don't claim the crypto, you get your tip refunded to you after a time period you specify. Plus, if they do claim the tip, you get an email alert. Create as many tips as you want at cryptotip.org. That's cryptotip.org. Some of you asked, and now we've delivered. LRN.FM's live Keene, New Hampshire studio shows are now streamed in HD on Twitch. Visit our channel at twitch.lrn.fm and give it a follow. If you have Amazon Prime, you get one free subscription on Twitch. If you use it on our channel, Twitch will give LRN.FM a monthly piece of your Prime subscription cost. So please watch, follow, share, and subscribe to twitch.lrn.fm. That's twitch.lrn.fm.
You're listening to the live edition of Free Talk Live. Hour number 2 is next, after the news, here on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
From Keene in the Shire, the Liberty Media capital of the world, this is Darryl W. Perry, host of FPP Radio News for Tuesday, September 11th, 2018. Silver is trading at $14.12 per ounce. Gold is valued at $1,195 per ounce. Zen is trading at $16, and the average price of Bitcoin is $6,276. Antiwar.com reports early in President Obama's time in office, CIA drone strikes became largely common and extremely controversial. The large-scale killing done publicly, but with the CIA refusing even basic transparency, was ultimately scaled back shortly before Obama left office, with a transfer of much of the drone campaign from the CIA to the Pentagon. With growing focus on Africa and the Pentagon not having a substantial existing infrastructure there, however, the CIA is making a comeback. After former CIA Director Mike Pompeo started pushing the matter with Trump, limits on CIA drone flights were scaled back. Across Africa, but especially in Niger and Libya, CIA flights are soaring. Officials say that so far they mostly have been surveillance flights, but lethal attacks are a virtual certainty and very soon because of growing CIA interest in attacks in southern Libya. A key factor in this shift was the Niger ambush incident in which 4 U.S. soldiers were killed. The U.S. almost immediately started hectoring the government of Niger for permission to use the drone base there for armed flights, as previously only surveillance was allowed. Niger gave in, and now the base that had been growing is launching armed U.S. drones. With President Trump pushing the Pentagon to be less and less transparent, the CIA resumption of drone killings will lead to even more opacity, as fatal drone strikes will be able to be unreported by both sides, leaving it uncertain which actually carried out any specific attack. Zencash has changed their name to Horizon to better represent their transition from a cryptocurrency to a pioneering platform that protects consumer data. They're working towards the day when anyone will be able to build privacy-based applications on the Horizon platform and generate income from them. This will allow Horizon to bring thousands of real-life services to the community, services that provide freedom, utility, and privacy. Learn more at horizon.global and join the Horizon community, HORIZEN.global. Reuters reports Hurricane Florence, the most powerful storm to menace the U.S. mainland this year, intensified into a Category 4 hurricane as it howled closer to the Carolinas on Monday, prompting evacuation of more than 1 million people to higher ground. Packing maximum sustained winds of 130 miles per hour, the storm was due to gain even greater strength before making landfall on Thursday, bringing heavy rains with the potential to unleash widespread severe flooding, according to the National Hurricane Center. The NHC, based in Miami, said in a bulletin Florence is expected expected to be an extremely dangerous major hurricane through Thursday. Maps of the storm's trajectory showed it's likely to come ashore somewhere near the border of North and South Carolina. The governors of both states declared states of emergency. South Carolina Governor Henry McMaster estimated about 1 million residents would flee the coast of his state following earlier orders on the evacuation of more than 50,000 people from the southernmost Outer Banks barrier islands of North Carolina. An estimated 250,000 more people from the northern Outer Banks were due to be sent to higher ground starting Tuesday at midday. North Carolina Governor Roy Cooper said at a news conference, "We're in the bullseye. This is going to be a statewide event." Florence grew into a major hurricane on Monday morning and was upgraded again to a Category 4 on the 5-step Saffir-Simpson scale of hurricane strengths at midday as its top sustained wind speeds reached 130 miles per hour. The United States was hit with a series of high-powered hurricanes last year, including Hurricane Maria, which killed about 300,000 people in Puerto Rico, and Hurricane Harvey, which killed 68 and caused an estimated $1.25 billion in damage from catastrophic flooding in Houston. President Donald Trump, whose administration was harshly criticized for being slow to respond to Hurricane Maria in Puerto Rico, canceled a political rally planned on Friday in Jackson, Mississippi over safety concerns related to Florence. The NHC said Florence could bring a deadly coastal storm surge and inland flooding as far north as Virginia. Immediately to the north of Virginia, Maryland Governor Larry Hogan said his state was also preparing for the potential of historic, catastrophic, life-threatening flooding. An NHC spokesman said historically 90% of fatalities from hurricanes, tropical storms, and tropical depressions have been caused by water. Some 27% of the deaths have come from rain-driven flooding, sometimes hundreds of miles inland. You can support FPP Radio by joining the Fans program. To learn more or to join the Fans program, visit fans.fppradio.com. That's fans.fppradio.com. This has been FPP Radio News. Online at fppradio.com.
A new Gallup poll found that the GOP has an overwhelming advantage among young people who look like old men. The poll shows Republicans hold a solid lead among the coveted elderly youth demographic, including 18 to 24-year-olds who wear suspenders and bow ties to class every day. I'm joined by Republican strategist Rob Powell. These are pretty encouraging numbers for the GOP, aren't they?
Yeah, of course, it's very encouraging. Millennials who look like they're permanently dressed for boat trips are a rapidly growing segment of the population.
And according to the survey, the prematurely aged are also very politically active.
Absolutely. Only about 20% of young people vote overall, but there's almost 100% turnout among youth that dress like a dad from a 1950s sitcom.
Now, what about the criticism that the GOP only appeals to white men?
Not true. We also have a lot of support among sorority girls that wear pantsuits and pearls, paunchy Chinese college students, and we're making inroads among African American ham radio enthusiasts.
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live.
It's Free Talk Live. We're launching into the second hour of the program. As always, you're invited to join us here on the radio waves. Our toll-free number, 855-450-FREE, like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. There's the Discord on-air call-in line rooms over at discord.lrn.fm. And joining you here tonight, it's Ian.
And Vin.
And Mark.
We were talking about Barcelona, Spain, the Catalonian region. Once again, protests erupting in the streets on what is essentially a holiday that the separatists there in Catalonia have kind of taken over for themselves as an excuse.
What's the holiday?
So, let's see. According to France 24, this particular day, Diada, D-I-A-D-A, it's a holiday that has since 2012 been used to stage a massive rally. It commemorates Catalonia's National Day, commemorating Barcelona's fall to troops loyal to Spain's King Philip V in 1714.
It's a lack of Independence Day, a tyranny day.
Yeah, that's a weird. You don't see that as most Independence Days are when they gained independence, not when they lost independence.
Well, this is a national day. It's not called Independence Day. It's a national day.
I see.
So it's like a slap in the face that the rest of the nation is celebrating. Yeah, that's really bad, man.
So they're in the streets with up to a million.
It's kind of that way for places like, well, I can't. I'm surely there's some kind of American holiday for surrounding the Mexican-American War and that kind of thing. If you think about places like New Mexico, that people would have from certain regions of New Mexico and Arizona fought on the other side of that war. That would be that. I mean, it wouldn't. It's obviously not a big holiday, but I don't know. It's the closest thing I got.
So approximately 1 million people were in the streets in Barcelona, which is the capital of that region, and looking to free the Catalan political prisoners now, because what happened after the Madrid government, the national government, cracked down a year ago when they were trying to vote on independence, where they literally brought shock troops into voting locations, shut down voting locations in advance, tried to stop people from even going inside. It was just absolutely outrageous what they were doing. They also then, after that day, then went around and arrested the people who they considered to be the leaders of the independence movement.
They're elected politicians.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah. Quote, "I'm outraged. The political prisoners have to be released now," said Santi No, aged 54, who came to the rally from his farm near Barcelona on his green tractor, one of dozens of tractors seen at the event. City police said on Twitter that around 1 million people took part. Similar to last year's protests, organizers said they'd sold over 200,000 coral red T-shirts, the color used in the ties used to secure the ballot boxes last year during their contested referendum. At the start of the rally...
How many?
200,000 coral red T-shirts.
Okay.
At the start of the rally, demonstrators knocked down a symbolic wall decorated with separatist symbols, a metaphor for the power of the people to overcome obstacles and achieve independence. Well, remember, we're just talking about independence from Spain.
Right.
They don't really want independence for the individual. These aren't individual, liberty people. These are socialists fighting with other socialists. Essentially, a richer area of Spain is saying, we want to have our own country so we can have our own socialist programs. Right. We don't want our money going to your areas of Spain. We don't want our money to be taken out of Barcelona, but we still want socialism here in Catalonia.
It's national socialism is what it is.
Yes.
It's nationalism's combined with socialism, and that's what they want, which is...
And they should have it if that's what they want. I mean,
right, but not everybody in that region wants that, so you're basically
But the other
saying,
ones just want, a different nation. They want Spain.
There's surely 9.5 libertarians in that region, and those libertarians would like not to be ruled by either one of these organizations.
Sure. Those poor libertarians all around the world who are outnumbered by all of the socialist brethren. Come to New Hampshire.
Yes.
I know it's hard. I know there's an immigration issues or whatever, but there's probably people willing to marry you here.
There are definitely people willing to marry them.
Oh, and there's a guy who I've been talking with who says there's a religious way to move. Like you can become a priest or something and move in to the United States. So we're looking into that as an option.
I know people that would divorce their spouses on paper and marry you legally if if they thought there was a legit Free State Project sort of mover. Great.
That's hardcore right there.
Yeah, I think they would. Yeah.
That's a hardcore liberty vibe right there. I like it.
Catalan President Quim Torra said the rally marks the start of a mass mobilization. Further protests are planned for an anniversary of last year's banned referendum, which was marred by police violence, and on the anniversary of the failed Declaration of Independence. In a televised address on Monday, he said his government was, quote, committed to implementing the republic, unquote, that Catalans voted for in the referendum. But Oriol Bartomius, a politics professor at the Autonomous University of Barcelona, said that, quote, listening to the speeches of the separatist leaders, it seems like there is no plan, unquote. Opposition parties complain that separatists have transformed the Diada into a holiday which excludes the half of the Catalan population that does not favor independence. Inés Arrimadas, head of the center-right anti-independence party in Catalonia, the Ciudadanos Party, says, quote, today, more than half of Catalonia cannot celebrate anything. Well, you can celebrate in your own way, whatever that would be.
Imagine being a anti-war Republican on Veterans Day.
A closely watched Catalan government poll showed 46.7% of Catalans want an independent state, just ahead of the 44.9% who were opposed. Separatist parties won a slim majority of seats in the Catalan parliament in a December election, even though they captured just 47.5% of the popular vote. So they still have a slim plurality of the voting. They not quite a majority, but enough to potentially have a vote that is in favor of secession. Spanish Foreign Minister Josep Borrell, who is Catalan, said, quote, "On a day like today, we Catalans should celebrate our national day and not just call for independence that is shared by less than half of the population." There are also growing divisions.
They all say it's less than half of the population, by the way. It's likely thinly marginally pro-separatist, but very, very thin.
There are also growing divisions in separatist ranks, of course, between those who want to provoke a clash with Madrid and those seeking a more conciliatory approach.
That's typical.
Yep.
Right,
you mean schisms within movements?
Yeah, that's typical.
Well, I also think that there's a lot of value in the people who are on the far side being used as
see, they're crazy. We're more reasonable.
Right.
Worked in Ireland. Yeah. Worked great in Ireland.
Yeah, worked great in Ireland. So, yeah, I mean, the people in the middle should absolutely be working to get more things for Catalonia, whatever those things are. The problem that Catalonia has is it is already the largest contributor to the tax base for Spain. So what are they going to give them? Money? Well, they don't want to give them freedom, and they don't want to. They can't give them money. So where you at? Yep. Darth Vader kicking your grandma's head in while she tries to vote. That's basically where they're at.
Here's what Joan Tarda, a lawmaker for Separatist Party in Parliament, said last week, quote, "If a separatist is so naive or stupid to believe he can impose independence on the 50% of Catalans who are not separatists, it's clear that they are mistaken." And indeed, that is part of the problem, right? Like, if not everybody's going along with this plan, it can get pretty ugly. And of course, not everybody is going to get along on this particular plan. But why shouldn't the reverse be true? Why shouldn't these Catalans, if they truly are dedicated to this plot of independence, just say, hey, we don't care that you've attacked our polling locations. We don't care if you're ignoring the vote. We're now going to ignore the Madrid government. We're no longer going to pay taxes to the Madrid government. We're going to act as though this Declaration of Independence that's claimed to have failed has actually succeeded, and we are going to act as though we have our independence. What are you going to do about it? Because they can put the so-called leaders behind bars, but they don't have enough room for 1 million people. If these 1 million people in the streets just stopped paying taxes and stopped sending in whatever obedience paperwork to Madrid, that would change the game.
I can't tell you what obedience paperwork there is, but I can tell you.
You ever gotten a license?
Yes.
That's what I'm talking about.
Certainly. Okay, so the problem with getting 1 million people refusing to get a license is that 1 million people don't get stopped by the police officers one at a time.
I'm not talking about driver's licenses. Yeah. I'm talking about like business permits,
licenses.
Any kind of obedience paperwork.
Often permits are issued by states, so we don't know.
I bet you they didn't get permits for those 200,000 T-shirts.
I bet they didn't.
Plus the fact that the taxes in Europe, at least in part, I don't know all the specifics. I haven't researched this, but I just heard you talking now. Yeah. Taxes are collected by a VAT, a value-added tax, which is a sales tax. And
you better believe they got more than that.
You can't refuse to pay a sales tax. The only way you can refuse is to not buy things.
The businesses can refuse to collect it.
Now it's down from 1 million to a handful.
On August 24th, 1992, 20 eager Cardozo law students filed into a small room to kick off the first day of Barry Scheck and Peter Newfield's Innocence Project clinic. After years as public defenders in New York City, Barry and Peter started the clinic to review cases of people in prison who could prove their innocence using DNA testing. What they thought was a few hundred cases turned out to be thousands, and a clear sign that the system needed repair. At the time, no one imagined that Barry's and Peter's vision would evolve into a national organization with the power to reform the criminal justice system 26 years later. Since that August day in 1992, there are now 565 Cardozo Law School clinic students trained, and the Innocence Project has celebrated 208 exonerations. They've also worked together to pass over 150 laws in the U.S. to help prevent wrongful convictions. You can support the Innocence Project by going to run.freetalklive.com. That's run.freetalklive.com.
Bitcoin.com wants you to know about SaveItPurse.com. Since launching in 2014, over 200,000 users have saved an average of 15% for a combined $4 million using Bitcoin, or BTC. And now you can use Bitcoin Cash, BCH, to fund your account. You can save between 5 to 33% on things you're going to buy anyway when you shop using SaveItPurse.com. Add items to your cart, fund your account, select your discount, and save. SaveItPurse.com. Save AT Purse.com.
What's more profitable, running your business or doing bookkeeping? Doing your business, of course, but you want to keep your books so that you can maximize your tax savings, right? What if I told you that there's a person that's a bookkeeper, accountant, and law school graduate that's also a hardcore libertarian?
My name is Melanie Johnson, and I hate the state. I will aggressively help you to minimize your tax exposure and maximize profits, all while staying within the law.
Melanie's your best choice for your taxes and bookkeeping needs. Go to tax.freetalklive.com and check out our website, tax.freetalklive.com.
Since time began, tyrants have taken aim at personal liberties. Now there's a movie that aims back.
The government has no more right to tell us what to put in our bodies than they have to take our guns or tell us what books we can read.
6 drug police were eaten by bears while raiding a marijuana farm.
On your knees, you dirty hippie! Jesus. On your knees! What's the problem, officer?
Today, many cops who enforce pot laws do so only because it provides them with cushy jobs, good benefits, and a chance to push people around.
I was an undercover narcotics officer. The drug war is nothing but a farce.
The Second Amendment says you gotta keep you and your gat intact.
Guns and Weed, The Road to Freedom. A film by Michael W. Dean and Nima Vadadi.
DVD available now at gunsandweed.com or on Amazon. That's gunsandweed.com. Makes the perfect gift. Remember, that's gunsandweed.com.
Here's a chance to do a little activism while you're cruising Facebook, Twitter, or Google+. Between the LOL cats, the recipes, the hot girls, and the inspirational sunrise memes, Free Talk Live's posts pass by your newsfeed. Like them, comment. It gives us more exposure. If you don't see our posts, click like at facebook.freetalklive.com and then hover over it to click Get Notifications. It's an easy way to spread the ideas of liberty a bit further. I know you're busy, but you can spare that 1/10 of a calorie it takes to click on something. facebook.freetalklive.com.
Free speech is protected on the internet, right? Not always. Government agencies try to limit free speech and commerce on the net. Luckily, when they do, the Institute for Justice is there to defend your First Amendment right to free speech. IJ helped set the first federal precedent for internet free speech in 1999, and ever since has worked to prevent unconstitutional roadblocks in cyberspace. Visit our website today at ij.org.
If you enjoy LRN.FM, please contribute to your favorite shows via their websites and become an amplifier at amp.lrn.fm. That's amp.lrn.fm.
It's Free Talk Live. Dial toll-free. Take control of the airwaves here. Our number is 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. We've got the Discord on-air call-in line rooms. You can join us there at discord.lrn.fm. And that allows you to sound almost like you're sitting here in the studio with us. So, if you're just tuning in, we were talking about secession. We're talking about the Catalonians that would like to secede from Spain, but of course they're not the only secession movement out there. I didn't look up any other stories about anything going on in California. The last I heard, the Californian movements were encountering some legal bumps in the road. I think the Supreme Court Supreme Court of California shot down the Three Californias proposal, if I recall correctly, basically saying it would be unconstitutional if that passed.
I'm not even
that died before it even made it to the ballot.
Entirely thrilled with the let's split off this state from that state and go join the federal government.
Oh yeah, I'm not thrilled with that either. No. There is another movement in California to actually secede from the federal government.
I think they've dropped that though. I think that's been completely just fallen apart.
It did fall apart because the guy who was the original creator of that moved to Russia. And then it fell apart.
That's pure commitment right there. Committed to the cause.
But somebody's put it back together from what I understand.
Okay.
So I just haven't checked in on it recently to see what's been going on. But if you're in California and you want to give us the latest on what's happening with their secession movement, because I wish them all the best. I want to see somebody secede in the United States.
New Hampshire.
I want it to be New Hampshire, but look, let's be honest. We just don't have the groundswell that they do in California or even in Texas for that instance.
So I support the New Hampshire secessionists in that they are going to allow New Hampshire to bargain for more independence from the United States federal government from a practical standpoint.
You're saying if secession's on the table, then the government will take it more seriously?
Would be more serious, rather than just saying, we're going to nullify things, which, they've mostly left states that have nullified marijuana laws alone, so nullification has some good momentum going on right now. I think a healthy dose of, and we might just vote to secede, is a good thing, simply because it takes legitimacy from the federal government. I would, however, say that it probably makes more sense for libertarians to get together with other libertarians, get some kind of special economic zone in some poor country, and build a free city, as opposed to attempting to fight the statists for something like real independence inside the United States.
Yeah, that's an interesting idea. I know you've been following some of those movements to create a free city in some other country. Purportedly, the idea is the government will leave you alone if you pay them enough money. I don't know if I believe it.
No,
but that's the
But the thing is, you can never pay a government enough money to leave you alone, because governments change, and it doesn't matter how much you were paying to the previous crime boss. The new crime boss wants more.
Yeah.
So to be clear, the history of things that have called themselves sovereign states include tributes to other countries. So there's a difference between not having to pay for some level of freedom, because if whatever, Florence didn't pay the papal state or whatever, they wouldn't remain sovereign nor free for very long. But having to pay for freedom is obviously not freedom. So we have the the history of human beings is punctuated by bondage, coercion.
Oh, yes.
That's it. That's the whole thing. That there's just lesser and greater forms of bondage, more lesser and greater forms of tribute to somebody who's willing to use violence against you. If that somebody has a bullwhip and is going to lash it down your back, that's obviously pretty personal and pretty right in your face, versus some foreign leader who expects your government, your federal government or whatever, to give some level of money and these kinds of things. It's complicated. And yes, governments will never entirely leave you a special economic zone alone, but if it is the goose that lays the golden egg, they will.
Well, sure. I mean, you can argue that what was it you said? Monaco was formed in a similar fashion?
Monaco was that's a long time ago, but Monaco was basically some rich noble says to France. I'd have to read the history, but basically says some rich noble says to the larger country, "Hey, I'd like to just give you some money. I know you're in some straits here. Let me just buy this tiny little piece of land, this 1 square mile or whatever it is." I don't know how big Monaco is, but not very
pretty
big.
Small.
And just, everything's fine here. Now, if you look at Monaco, the citizen, if you happen to be born in Monaco to Monacan citizens or whatever the hell they are, you are in pretty good shape.
You're killing it. Yeah. That's a good passport to have, man.
It's a good passport. Plus, you pay nothing in taxes.
That's right.
It's all, everything's paid for you. You get everything that every European citizen gets, and the only thing you pay in taxes is a VAT.
It's pretty good.
Looks like it's 2 square kilometers.
Yeah. Basically a square mile.
Square mile.
All right. So, by the way,
it's got a hospital so that its citizens can be born there.
I do want you to know about Zencash changing their branding to Horizon. It is a privacy platform. The reason they did this was because they wanted people to know that they're more than just a cryptocurrency. It's a privacy platform built on zero-knowledge technology with a decentralized secure node architecture. They've got also secure chat. So you can do chat already on the Horizon platform, and soon Horizon will enable you to publish information and go anywhere on the web, all with complete privacy. Horizon is bringing privacy to life. You can learn more at horizon.global. It's Horizen. The currency is still called Zen.
Horizon.
Horizon.global. All right, so we'll take your calls and thoughts about whatever you want here. The toll-free number is 855-450, free like freedom. We were kind of just generally talking about secession. I love the concept. I really wish everybody who wants secession the best. I don't care if you're a socialist who wants to secede. Ultimately, I think we need more choices. And in the United States, if one state goes and is allowed to go without, the federal government rolling in tanks, assassinating the leaders, that whole thing.
I think that's unlikely, honestly.
I think it is too. Why do you think it's unlikely?
Because then you get to see the real nature of the state. I just don't think that if it's one, let's say that it was New Hampshire, there is no way that the federal government is going to allow. It's already happened. There was a civil war over this, for crying out loud. It's not going to be allowed to happen because, as you say, once you start, it's the dominoes go. It's just
That's how I feel,
like legalizing marijuana, right? That it's like once you get one state, okay, well we want out too.
Now we can do this.
Yep.
Yeah. Now it's believable. Now it's no longer some pie in the sky, crazy lunatic concepts. Like, oh my
God,
the fact
they did
that
it. There would be before the vote is taken, every threat that you can imagine would be leveled.
Oh yes.
That from a financial standpoint, also money. Hard money would be flowing into the state to support the opposing side.
Absolutely.
And so you would have to have a super majority of people. And also, I believe that if a state should secede, or a province or whatever should secede from its main country, it really should be done by more than a 50% plus one.
You would
vote.
have to get basically a constitutional amendment, which would be more than it would be 60 or whatever, 66% or whatever that is here in New Hampshire.
So 66% of the voting populace who is not scared and not swayed by the vote would be a Herculean task.
No doubt. But of course, the more outrageous the federal government becomes, the easier secession becomes to pitch to people. There's more coming up here. Our number 855-450 free like freedom. You can join us on the radio.
When you use public Wi-Fi, hackers and identity thieves can see anything you do online. Embarrassing photos, your web history, even your passwords. That's why I use private internet access to encrypt my internet connection for less than 10 cents a day. Sign up now at privateinternetaccess.com, and in just a few minutes, you'll be browsing anonymously and only sharing what you want to share. privateinternetaccess.com. It's time to protect your online privacy.
Homemakers. Groceries by mail ships free. Try our amazing bacon. It stores in your pantry. No refrigeration required. Our value-added packaging provides a 10-year shelf life and protects the leanest, thickest, center-cut, fully cooked bacon in America today. Ready to eat right from the pouch or warm and serve. Always priced less than grocery for your everyday use. Savory and delicious. Order today at readytoeatbacon.com. readytoeatbacon.com.
A congressman recently revealed that legislation totaling 2,900 pages and involving more than $1 trillion was available to members of Congress for less than 48 hours to study and consider. That's over 60 pages of legislation per hour. Do you think anyone read the entire bill? I'm Jim Babka with DownsizeDC.org. Consider a proposal buried in a 3,200-page, $388 billion bill, which would have empowered committee chairmen or their agents to examine Americans' tax returns. When this horrible provision came to light, no one claimed to know how it got into the bill. One congressman questioned said, "I didn't write it, I didn't approve it, I wasn't even consulted." If your attorney represented you this way, he might be disbarred. But this is how Congress represents you every day. That's why DownsizeDC.org has created the Read the Bills Act. You can force Congress to read their bills before they pass them at DownsizeDC.org.
Radio is the most personal of mediums. I exist right now in your head. If you listen to Free Talk Live regularly, you know me. Free Talk Live is on more than 160 radio stations around the U.S. and has been downloaded on every continent around the world. Hundreds of thousands of listeners with ad packages from $600 a month to $6,000 a month. Imagine what we can do for your business, project, website, or idea. Email me, mark@freetalklive.com.
So you've heard all 3 hours of the latest episode of Free Talk Live, and you're still hungry for liberty-oriented audio content? Did you know that we have another 24/7 audio stream at LRN.FM? The Liberty Radio Network airs the latest episodes of some of the best liberty-oriented podcasts on the internet around the clock. In addition to recorded content, you'll also hear live shows like Free Talk Live, originating from our Keene, New Hampshire studio. So listen anytime at LRN.FM. That's LRN.FM. Why did you move to the Shire?
I moved here to the Shire because there's other people around who take liberty just as seriously as I do.
I moved to the Shire because I saw videos of people challenging authority and thought that I could get support myself. It called to me, like, do this right now.
I wanted to be around people like me who got it. And once I got here, I knew there was nowhere else that I wanted to be.
I've always wanted to change the world. So I moved to the Shire to join people who were actually working towards doing the same thing.
The people here are awesome, loving, and positive. It was for the adventure and for the feeling of something important is happening here. And I just wanted to come to sort of be part of that.
Visit ShireSociety.com to read and sign the Shire Society Declaration and learn the reasons why, if you love liberty, you should immigrate to the Shire. Plus, add yourself to the Shire map at ShireSociety.com. That's ShireSociety.com.
Join the LRN.FM Discord for live chat 24/7 at discord.lrn.fm. That's discord.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live. You can bring up what you want. Toll-free number here is 855-450-FREE, like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. We also have our Discord chat rooms and the Discord on-air call-in lines, which allow you to get on the radio with us, sound like you're sitting here in the studio. Just go to discord.lrn.fm and you can join that there. It's totally free to use our Discord server, and it's there 24/7, so people can actually use it to chat with one another about a variety of different things, argue with trolls, talk about productive things. There's different chat rooms, there's different topics, there's gaming, there's cryptocurrency chat, and others. Go and check it out. It's free over at discord.lrn.fm. Something else that's free, the Tom Woods podcast. It's called The Tom Woods Show. You go to tomwoods.com or search for Tom Woods Show in your favorite podcatcher. If you don't know who Tom is, a lot of libertarians got to know him during the Ron Paul campaigns of 2008 and 2012. He's a New York Times best-selling author. He's actually a pretty sharp guy as well. We've had him in the studio here with us. We actually had a Thanksgiving with Tom Woods one year.
Nice.
When he came here to have Thanksgiving
That's
in
awesome.
Keene, which was pretty cool. He's the author of The Politically Incorrect Guide to American History, and since September of 2013, Tom Woods has been putting out his Tom Woods Show every single weekday, which is a tremendous level of commitment for a libertarian podcast. And he now has over 1,200 episodes logged in, including guests like Ron Paul, Judge Andrew Napolitano, David Stockman, and hundreds more. Topics including war, the Federal Reserve, net neutrality, FDA, Austrian economics, and other subjects of interest to libertarians. So check him out over at tomwoods.com. As we continue here, going into some money-related news, we've talked a lot about secession so far, changing gears and coming back home to the United States. MarketWatch.com with basically a puff piece about this so-called cashless society. Headline, America moves closer to being a cashless society. Subheadline, why businesses love it. This is a straight-up puff piece, okay, for cashless society.
Why businesses love it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can tell you lots of businesses do not love it.
Cash-only businesses don't love it.
No doubt about it.
Well, also, when it comes to credit cards, you're waiting to get your money for whenever they decide to, settle up with you.
Correct.
Could be days. But the fees, you're also losing.
You're paying 3%
That's
or
what
more
I'm
than
saying.
that.
A lot more.
Nope. 3% is the base level.
Yeah.
In addition, you're paying a per transaction
That's
fee
right.
Sure.
as well. And then some credit cards, it's more than 3%. It's 5% for, I believe, for Discover and American Express, if I recall correctly.
Those cost more. So whenever you swipe your Discover or American Express card, they're going to cost the business more than if you use your Visa or MasterCard.
Which I've never understood. I mean, just as an aside, like, as a business, looking at it from a business person's perspective, it's like nobody I know has Discover or American Express cards for the most part. I've never had one in my life.
Is a Discover card.
Yeah, it seems to me like Visa and MasterCard have so much more market penetration. Like, why would you want it?
It's got to be 90%.
Why would you want?
I'll explain it why it is. First off, the people who have Discover cards get a certain amount of cash back.
I get that with Visa.
Forms. I'll bet you it's better on Discover.
What do you get?
I don't know. I don't pay the bills at my house. But my understanding is that's the reason. And they will likely ask every single time, hey, do you take Discover? Because they get a larger incentive to do it.
I see.
And so the business owner hears, well, they're Discover,
asking,
and so they're hearing the Discover thing over.
Well, of course
and over
they can.
again.
If they pay out more, of course they can, because they're jacking the business owner for 5%.
I'm not saying it's a good idea, Ian.
Yeah.
I'm simply saying this is why. Is the business owner hears Discover, several times a day. They say, well, I guess I got to take Discover too.
Yeah.
What the business owners really don't know is if I took no credit cards, how much would my business go down? And they don't know.
Yeah, that's really the key is these cards. That's as a merchant, you have to take whatever is out there, but it's that chicken and egg. It's the chicken and egg sort of situation that it's like, well, when everybody's taking it, that's what we're going to use. The problem with the cashless society, and I just did a tweet about this today, and it's something that I think about so often, because the title of the Bitcoin white paper is, Bitcoin is a peer-to-peer electronic cash system, right?
Mm-hmm.
The word cash.
That's right.
And it's interesting because I've just been reading Nick Szabo, who's one of sort of the ideological, I think, progenitors of the cryptocurrency movement and Bitcoin.
People have said this guy may be Satoshi Nakamoto.
Well, one of the reasons why is because he wrote this paper called Shelling Out. It's about really the history of money. He talks about this idea of tribute, and he says that this is one of the reasons that money was created in the first place to enable tribute of sort of conquered people to give to others. But he also talks about the idea that since time immemorial, because of this tribute idea, people have been hiding money. They've been hiding their valuables, right? Mostly buried. And so going into this idea of like the word cash comes from Italian casa, Old Italian, which is a money box, but also the idea of a cache. A cache is a hiding.
Yeah, a holding.
C-A-C-H-E, cache.
Right. And so there is some, if you go back far enough, it's into this idea of hiding your money away, buried treasure, the treasure chest, which comes
is a cache of gold.
Right. So treasure chest actually comes from the same root as cash.
Makes sense.
And so the idea is that what is cash really? Cash is this idea of it's the money that you can hide from the state.
From the government, yeah. The king's men are coming around. You want them to not find the gold.
That's really what it is it's like to go to a cashless society. It has nothing to do with, eliminating the paper and it's so much easier and all of this. No. What it has to do with is
control.
The government can control and see
and observe
all of the money, every financial transaction.
That's what it wants.
Nothing can escape them. Anybody who's for the cashless society does not understand what they're asking for.
Or maybe they do understand. There's a handful of people out there that would totally understand.
Maybe.
But I think you're absolutely right. Every time, once we get into a situation where transactions are all going through banks and being quantified by banks, they are now being tallied and given directly to the government. A bank is a franchise of the Federal Reserve System, which is basically a quasi-governmental organization.
Yep.
They work hand in hand, and that's why
they have to.
When you go to the DMV and the answer to your question is no, sit in a line. That's why when you go to a bank, your answer to your question is no, but they don't make you sit in a line nearly as often, right? Like banks are quasi-governmental, so you're going to get some customer service being told no, but you're going to be told no.
See, I don't even think they're quasi-governmental because if you owe, quote unquote, the government some money and they send your bank a letter saying this guy owes us some money, there's no question.
They'll take it out of your safe deposit box.
They sure
immediately. Immediately, with no questions asked, and then it's your job. Even if the government screwed up, the bank's not checking on it. They don't have your back. It's as good as in the government's hands if all it takes is a letter. So to me, the banks are government. Those are government pieces of the government.
You cannot trust them. You cannot trust them at all. By the way, I did look it up, Mark, here. According to NerdWallet, Discover's cashback program has a 5% cashback on a quarterly rotating category that you can activate.
I hear about that category on a relatively regular basis.
And then it's just 1% on other purchases.
I think it used to be 3, but okay, 5%.
So you pick a category of goods, like would that be like groceries,
gas stations,
clothing, gas?
Right, that kind
gas?
of thing.
Ooh, gas is a good one. That's what you would want to
get
pick.
it on gas. It's the way to do it.
Yeah, that's what you... but you don't get to choose what the category is?
No.
Oh, they choose
it's rotate,
for you.
It rotates.
That's annoying.
Oh, hell no.
I am lazy enough. I'm not going to pay cash for gasoline. I'm just going to swipe the card. That's why we have a card, is so that I don't want to go in. I don't want to stand in line behind the guy who's buying 2 40s. I just don't want to do it.
I guess, just again, we'll get it back into the article here. Just from a consumer's perspective, I've never really seen the penetration of Discover and American Express compared to the Visa MasterCard logos that I see everywhere at every single business. Well, I tell you,
it depends. I think it depends on the caliber of good. When I lived in Vegas, you'd see a lot of American Express.
Okay. Yes. Okay.
The very high end, you're going to see a lot of it. The black card.
But that's not a credit card. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not a credit card because you're paying it all at the end of the month.
Yeah.
So,
really?
Yes. Oh, yeah.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that about them. See, I know nothing about these things because I don't, to me, it's just not motivating at all.
Smart.
There's more coming up here, 8:55, 4:50 free. Let's talk about this so-called cashless society and the puff piece coming up.
Do you operate a retail business and are looking for a solution for point-of-sale cryptocurrency acceptance? It's never been easier thanks to AnyPay.global. There's no paperwork or approval process to open an account. If you already have a tablet, you're almost done. Just sign up at AnyPay.global, drop your personal crypto wallet addresses on the setup page, and then load the app. That's it. You're accepting cryptocurrency like Bitcoin and Dash at your store. Get started now at AnyPay.global. AnyPay.global.
Zencash has changed their name to Horizon to better represent their transition from a cryptocurrency to a pioneering platform that protects consumer data. They're working towards the day when anyone will be able to build privacy-based applications on the Horizon platform and generate income from them. This will allow Horizon to bring thousands of real-life services to the community, services that provide freedom, utility, and privacy. Learn more at horizon.global and join the Horizon community. HORIZEN.global.
This is Fred.
Hi, I'm Fred.
Fred's a repeater.
I tend to repeat.
Fred has a business.
I do have a business.
And a problem. Fred repeats the same tired advertising over and over, and now it doesn't work.
Over and over.
But Fred is about to see a vision.
I'm seeing a vision.
Advertising on the Genesis Communications Network is the smart way for Fred to reach his potential customers with the most affordable national advertising rates, period. Get started today with GCN, the Genesis Communications Network. Just email advertise@gcnlive.com.
Hunters, anglers, campers, and survivalists. Get back to nature. Expand your horizons with the highest quality, most versatile, unique slingshots and sling bows on the market at slingbow.com. Slingbow products are compact and models start from just $17.98. They're perfect for your bug-out bag or storing in your vehicle. Give yourself and your loved ones the excitement and tradition of Slingbow, a new frontier in archery and truly modern twist on this primitive survival tool. Feel the thrill only at slingbow.com.
So the protection of life, liberty, and property is what the Free State Project is all about. But it's an effort to move 20,000 people who understand.
It's about demonstrating to the entire country
that, yeah, we can have a free market, a truly free market.
Making it just a freer, great place to live.
It's the world's largest voluntarist libertarian community, and it's only getting bigger.
That's amazing, to be able to move to a place where other people passionately believe in being free and independent.
What the Free State Project is managing to do, though, is to put their money where their mouth is. It's physically getting up across the country and saying, let's go someplace and let's demonstrate the power of these ideas. There's a lot of kind of philosophy that surrounds liberty. There's a lot of thinking about it and talking about it. But here in New Hampshire, people are doing it.
101 Reasons Liberty Lives in New Hampshire, a documentary by Free State Project Early Movers. Watch it free at 101reasonsfilm.com. 101reasonsfilm.com.
LRN.FM is proud to announce our official listening apps for Android and iOS devices. Now you can easily tune into our streams anywhere, anytime on your smartphone or tablet. Just visit apps.lrn.fm or search for LRN.FM in the Android or Apple app stores. Please download, rate us 5 stars, then share the link on your social media and let your friends and family know how you're listening to LRN.FM. Download it now, free at apps.lrn.fm.
The
This Your Family Today tip is brought to you by Boost Kid Essentials Nutritionally Complete Drink, providing your picky eater with essential nutrition and great taste in one drink. Visit us at kidessentials.com. To make sure your kids eat healthy, follow the 5-a-day plan. Serve 3 servings of vegetables and 2 servings of fruit daily. Remember, a serving could just mean a piece of fruit or a half cup of veggies. If your kids are picky eaters, ask a nutritionist about other sources. For more tips like these, visit us at parenthood.com/yourfamilytoday.
You're listening to the best liberty-oriented audio streamed around the clock, on the air and online. This is the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
It's Free Talk Live. The Cashless Society Market Watch is pimping it out here, claiming that businesses love it. We're going to get into the story here in just a moment. Headline: America moves closer to being a cashless society. With you in the studio tonight, it's Ian.
And Ben.
And Mark.
By the way, don't forget, you can join us online over at freetalklive.com. We get a lot of features there, including the Free Talk Live Amplifier program. And I want to thank... we have been a little bit remiss in doing this. We're trying to create a new habit of thanking Free Talk Live amplifiers every single night on the show. I think we did it 3 or 4 times last week out of 7 days. So we're going to try again.
Pretty good.
Thank you to Nathan Dank from, it doesn't say where he's from, but Nathan Dank, he's a platinum amplifier, which means he's doing $25 a month.
Good for him.
Donating, and this is one of our longest running amplifiers that we have, because we're kind of generally going by order of older amplifiers are getting their mentions first. So thank you, Nathan, for supporting Free Talk Live for so long. We certainly appreciate it.
On one hand, I want to incentivize everybody to be an amplifier, and I really, for me, the silver amplifier, the way to go. You come in at $5.
That's $5 a month. Yeah.
But at the same time, I'm always very impressed with somebody's a platinum amplifier. So thank you very much, Nathan.
Yeah, I mean, I want to give credit to the folks who are giving a little bit more, because they deserve it too.
Yeah.
So thank you for that. But yeah, it is only $5 a month to become a Free Talk Live amplifier. You do get some cool perks, like access to the AMP Only Facebook group. There's AMP Only and supporter chat rooms in our Discord server. There's other AMP bonuses like the AMP Only call-in lines. There's an AMP Only podcast as well. So please go to amp.freetalklive.com. If you appreciate the work that we do here, if you like the fact that we're heard on over 190 radio stations from coast to coast, AM and FM, not just coast to coast, but beyond. We're even in Guam as well. So if you like the fact that we're all over the place and you want to see us get to 300 stations, because we can do it. It's just, it takes time, it takes money, it takes being able to market Free Talk Live to get on these stations. We got on WRKO in Boston, one of the biggest radio stations, one of the most heritage call letters that you can get on. And how did we get on WRKO? I was able to close that deal because we went to the Talkers convention this year. And,
I was there.
And
I know
he
it's
was
true.
there. And I'd never met the guy before, because he had never been, I don't think, to Talkers before. And we're there every single year, so we were able to close that deal and get a signed agreement from him, because he was actually already airing the show.
Yes.
But he didn't sign the agreement until we went to Talkers. How do we go to Talkers? The amplifiers pay the bills to send us to these things to
help
promote.
advertise, market, and promote.
Advertise,
Free Talk
market, and promote.
Live,
So
yeah.
we wouldn't be on 190 radio stations today if it weren't for Free Talk Live listeners like you becoming an amplifier for $5 a month. So please go to amp.freetalklive.com. Yes, you can do it with credit card, Visa, and MasterCard. There's the claim that American Express works, but no one's ever tried it. I've said it on the air. And by the way, I didn't seek this. American Express just sent emails to me saying, "Hey, your customers can take American Express now." I'm like, "Really? I didn't even ask for this, but okay, fine." I don't know if it's even possible. So if somebody's got an American Express card and wants to try that, please feel free to give it a try. I've invited people to do that before. No one's done it. So as far as I'm concerned, nobody cares about these American Express cards, but they're there. So you can use credit card, you can use PayPal, and you can use Bitcoin BTC to get signed up for AMP over at amp.freetalklive.com. So we're talking about credit cards and this cashless society puff piece by MarketWatch published today. If you want to buy a beer at Flat Stick Pub in Seattle, don't whip out a $10 bill to pay. You'll walk away thirsty. Flat Stick, a new hot mini chain in the Pacific Northwest, doesn't take cash. Neither does Bluestone Lane, a coffee chain with locations in New York, Philly, and D.C. Patrons there have to pay with plastic or an app called Level Up. Want to grab a sweet green salad for lunch with cash? No can do at many locations. Cashless commerce is popping up around the country, they say, particularly in restaurants catering to a younger crowd, which is likely to leave home without any greenbacks or even a wallet.
I agree with that the younger crowd is likely to like their card. They were probably given a card by the parents that was limited in some way or another. So that, as far as control goes, like they can't spend beyond this. It just won't work.
Is that a thing? Parents give their kids cards?
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
Sure.
Wow.
Yeah.
So this is basically their allowance in the form of and they're able to control
card,
it,
yeah.
and it's right there on the books and that kind of thing. So sure. Also, do you want your kid walking around do you want your kid walking around with a pocket full of cash, or do you want them to have a card that you can shut off in case they get it taken from them?
I mean, the issue I have with this is, especially it being at bars and restaurants, what a terrible place to be a bartender or a server that your tips are getting taxed
on the
and
record.
Reported.
Yep.
I mean, the thing, when you're a bartender or a server, I mean, anybody who's worked in that industry knows
You
that
underreport.
Dude, cash tips is what makes it worth it.
Correct. And now that's going to go away?
It's horrible.
Right.
In fact, whenever I go to if I go to Domino's and I pay with the credit card, I always leave a cash tip.
Of course.
If I ever pay with a credit card at a restaurant, I always leave a cash tip because I know that they appreciate it. I know that that's what they want.
Indeed.
And then of course you got to wait for the house to settle up. If you're getting credit card tips, you got to wait till the boss pays you on that your next paycheck or whenever it is they pay that out. You don't get to take it home and use it that night.
No.
To buy your dime bag or whatever it is you're going to buy. Right? Am I right? It's the restaurant industry.
That's usually
It's
what you're
hospitality.
doing, yeah.
So,
fair enough.
Going on here, cashless commerce, they say, is popping up around the country, and they say because these young people are choosing to live life with a smartphone and few credit or debit cards, a few credit or debit cards attached. Businesses who've gone cashless rave about the results, they claim. Flatstick owner Sam Largent told me plastic only reduces error rates during times of complex accounting, such as calculating tips when shifts change. Cash sure seems to be on the ropes, they say. The dollar value of cash transactions sank 7% from 2010 to 2015, according to the Nielsen report, while credit and debit card payments rose nearly 50%.
Can you explain that to me?
So, dollar value of cash transactions sinking 7%, meaning there's a certain number associated with how much money is being spent in cash. They're saying that number has dropped by 7%.
Well, the number that's being reported has dropped by 7%.
Correct.
Which might make sense if the economy is not sitting in such a nice place, that businesses might choose to let's just not report as much of our cash transactions.
Could very well be. They also say the credit card and debit card payments rose nearly 50%. Meanwhile, ATMs, which had their 50th birthday last year, interesting, are disappearing around the block and around the world, signaling the decline of the cash run. Now, this obviously is a puff piece. They claim here that businesses who've gone cashless rave about the results. I bet that's not true across the board.
No,
I bet there's some businesses who actually tried going cashless and then reversed course because they had customers complaining about that, and it probably wouldn't take very much research to find those. But I don't think MarketWatch bothered to ask about any of those.
The bar and restaurant thing, having been around nightlife pretty much my entire adult life. Mm-hmm. Cash at a bar is way more convenient for everyone involved, especially a busy bar.
Right. They're not dealing with change usually. I mean, mostly they're just whatever the drink is. And
that's right.
I don't know. And
it's a flat dollar amount.
Drinks are outrageous. There's no doubt. But, if you're getting a $7.50 cocktail and you're slapping down $10, they're not bringing you back change. They're not taking the time for it or whatever. And you can address that immediately. Immediately. Don't bother with change. I just need a receipt, please.
And they don't have to go find your tab, pull it into the machine, do
swipe
all
the
of
card.
That. No, dude.
Get the receipt, bring it over, get the signature.
Yeah, no. And then all the people who are leaving cards at the end of the night and let me get your ID and let me try to find your. No way, dude. I don't believe this for an instant. Not for an instant.
They claim cash is on the ropes. Of course, cash-free environments, they say, aren't brand new. Airlines went cashless a long time ago for meals and other onboard purchases.
No, airlines started charging for meals and other things. There was a time when you would actually get like drinks and things like that on
not more than one, though. You're not going to get more than one drink for free, right? Like they're going to charge you for a beer, and they always have.
Well, this is true, but I mean now they're even going to charge you for like snacks.
No, not the freebie. They still have freebies, at least on Southwest. I don't know about the other. They still give you the freebie pretzels or whatever.
I'm constantly amazed at what is being charged for on airplanes.
You know, I was so refreshed when I was going down to Anarchapulco the first time in 2017, where they give you a beer for free on, I don't know if it was Aeromexico or the other one, that Aeromal or whatever it was.
Lovely.
A free cerveza gratis, on the house.
Lovely people.
And I'm like, I love Mexico. This is awesome. All right, and they got those Mexican peanuts, those Japanese peanuts.
Those are the bomb.
Awesome.
Cacahuates.
All right, there's more on the way here.
Don't know what any of this is.
You went to Mexico. You know what it was. You just don't remember it.
I didn't know, and I didn't take the planes that you have.
Oh, you didn't?
At any point.
Oh, man. You're missing out.
I flew in a G4 to Acapulco.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. You and the riffraff were eating your little Japanese peanuts.
All right, there's more on the way. We got hour number 3 coming up. 8:55, 450, free like freedom.
Let's talk tough. Let's talk comfort. Let's talk about down-home value. Made in the USA blue jeans, like you wore as a kid. Remember?
There's a place down in Tennessee where they make blue diamond gusset jeans. They so pride in every stitch, guarantee you love the way they fit. They put a diamond gusset in the crotch where you need it most. Blue diamond gussets got it, others don't.
For good old-fashioned comfort, get Diamond Gusset jeans. Every stitch guaranteed. And our Defender motorcycle jean comes Kevlar reinforced. See them at GUSSET.com, that's gusset.com, or call 888-848-7738. That's 888-848-7738. Diamond Gusset jeans got it, others don't.
What do you shop for that you could otherwise buy at Amazon? Pretty much everything, right? Amazon has competitive pricing and they deliver, and that's a big plus. If you could plan ahead in your shopping, would you be interested in saving up to 33%? There's a catch. You have to do your shopping in Bitcoin. But imagine those savings. It's like a huge raise. All you have to do is go to saveitpurse.com. We've saved thousands, and you can too. Plan ahead and save. SaveItPurse.com. There are lots of ways to listen to Free Talk Live. Our podcast has been around since podcasts began, and now the FTL feed is loaded with content besides our full show archives. Did you know that we make it easy for you to customize your podcast subscriptions? We have different feeds, one that includes only our full shows, one with just the Daily Digest, and one with just the Edgington Post. You decide what you listen to. It's quick and easy to customize your feeds at feeds.freetalklive.com. That's feeds.freetalklive.com.
You're listening to the live edition of Free Talk Live. Hour number 3 is next after the news here on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
From Keene in the Shire, the Liberty Media capital of the world, this is Daryl W. Perry, host of FPP Radio News for Tuesday, September 11th, 2018. Silver is trading at $14.12 per ounce. Gold is valued at $1,195 per ounce. Zen is trading at $16, and the average price of Bitcoin is $6,276. Antiwar.com reports early in President Obama's time in office, CIA drone strikes became largely common and extremely controversial. The large-scale killing done publicly, but with the CIA refusing even basic transparency, was ultimately scaled back shortly before Obama left office, with a transfer of much of the drone campaign from the CIA to the Pentagon. With growing focus on Africa and the Pentagon not having a substantial existing infrastructure there, however, the CIA is making a comeback. After former CIA Director Mike Pompeo started
pushing the matter with Trump, limits on CIA drone flights were scaled back. Across Africa, but especially in Niger and Libya, CIA flights are soaring. Officials say that so far they mostly have been surveillance flights, but lethal attacks are a virtual certainty and very soon because of growing CIA interest in attacks in southern Libya. A key factor in this shift was the Niger ambush incident in which 4 U.S. soldiers were killed. The U.S. almost immediately started hectoring the government of Niger for permission to use the drone base there for armed flights, as previously only surveillance was allowed. Niger gave in, and now the base that had been growing is launching armed U.S. drones. With President Trump pushing the Pentagon to be less and less transparent, the CIA resumption of drone killings will lead to even more opacity, as fatal drone strikes will be able to be unreported by both sides, leaving it uncertain which actually carried out any specific attack. Zencash has changed their name to Horizon to better represent their transition from a cryptocurrency to a pioneering platform that protects consumer data. They're working towards the day when anyone will be able to build privacy-based applications on the Horizon platform and generate income from them. This will allow Horizon to bring thousands of real-life services to the community, services that provide freedom, utility, and privacy. Learn more at horizon.global and join the Horizon community. HORIZEN.global. Reuters reports Hurricane Florence, the most powerful storm to menace the U.S. mainland this year, intensified into a Category 4 hurricane as it howled closer to the Carolinas on Monday, prompting evacuation of more than 1 million people to higher ground. Packing maximum sustained winds of 130 miles per hour, the storm was due to gain even greater strength before making landfall on Thursday, bringing heavy rains with the potential to unleash widespread severe flooding, according to the National Hurricane Center. The NHC, based in Miami, said in a bulletin Florence is expected to be an extremely dangerous major hurricane through Thursday. Maps of the storm's trajectory showed it's likely to come ashore somewhere near the border of North and South Carolina. The governors of both states declared states of emergency. South Carolina Governor Henry McMaster estimated about 1 million residents would flee the coast of his state following earlier orders on the evacuation of more than 50,000 people from the southernmost Outer Banks barrier islands of North Carolina. An estimated 250,000 more people from the northern Outer Banks were due to be sent to higher ground starting Tuesday at midday. North Carolina Governor Roy Cooper said in a news conference, "We're in the bullseye. This is going to be a statewide event." Florence grew into a major hurricane on Monday morning and was upgraded again to a Category 4 on the 5-step Saffir-Simpson scale of hurricane strengths at midday as its top sustained wind speeds reached 130 miles per hour. The United States was hit with a series of high-powered hurricanes last year, including Hurricane Maria, which killed about 300,000 people in Puerto Rico, and Hurricane Harvey, which killed 68 and caused an estimated $1.25 billion in damage from catastrophic flooding in Houston. President Donald Trump, whose administration was harshly criticized for being slow to respond to Hurricane Maria in Puerto Rico, canceled a political rally planned on Friday in Jackson, Mississippi over safety concerns related to Florence. The NHC said Florence could bring a deadly coastal storm surge and inland flooding as far north as Virginia. Immediately to the north of Virginia, Maryland Governor Larry Hogan said his state was also preparing for the potential of historic, catastrophic, life-threatening flooding. An NHC spokesman said historically 90% of fatalities from hurricanes, tropical storms, and tropical depressions have been caused by water. Some 27% of the deaths have come from rain-driven flooding, sometimes hundreds of miles inland. You can support FPP Radio by joining the Fans program. To learn more or to join the Fans program, visit fans.fppradio.com. That's fans.fppradio.com. This has been FPP Radio News. Online at fppradio.com.
Delighted health insurance executives gather in an outdoor coliseum to watch a patient battle cancer, and a self-conscious flasher is fully clothed under his trench coat. This is the Onion Week in Review. While stressing that they would absolutely never consider doing anything of the sort, German leaders quietly admitted this week that they were pretty sure they could carry out another Holocaust if they ever truly wanted to. Quickly noting that the Holocaust was an atrocity that should never be repeated, no matter how easy it would be to do so, almost all members of the German parliament discreetly conceded that with their country's dominance of Eurozone GDP, pulling off the unthinkable genocide would not be the least bit difficult.
I'm just saying, hypothetically, that we very easily could do it. I mean, we definitely have the infrastructure, and the concentration camps are still standing.
In other news, a so-called Christian has an erection. A new study finds more children are growing up in single-parent households. And a real-life Nancy Drew traces the source of her HPV.
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live.
It is Free Talk Live. We're launching into the third hour of the program. You're invited to take control of the airwaves. If you want to comment on the Cashless Society, have you ever worked at a business that went cashless, that made the conscious choice to go from accepting cash from customers to telling their customers, nope, sorry, we're not going to be taking cash from you anymore. If you want to shop here, you need to do it credit card only.
Or conversely, have you ever been part of a business that has decided to stop taking credit cards and go completely cash? Because these things exist too.
I'm glad you brought that up because I just encountered this today. I was at a little place called Little Zoe's Pizza. Mm-hmm. Now, anybody that's been to the Porcupine Freedom Festival in the last 3 years, you have eaten their pizza. It's
excellent.
Because it's probably the best food at PorcFest.
Get the Red Dragon. Sure. This is a
if you like spicy.
Yeah, this is a spicy pizza.
You can't get that at PorcFest.
And you really can't get that. I mean, just nobody makes a spicy pizza. Yeah, you can get the shaken red pepper, and I recommend putting that on a regular pizza, but there really isn't a spicy pizza out there for whatever reason.
This is the one.
It's like Mexican people don't eat pizza? Come on.
So Little Zoe's, it's apparently... It was the first time I'd ever seen this business model of, and apparently it exists out west. There's like a chain of some restaurant, and I don't remember what it's called. But the model is they sell pre-made, or not pre-made, but they make them fresh in the shop, pizzas that are not cooked.
Yes.
So they sell you an uncooked pie, and then you take that home, you put it in your oven, and you can put it in the freezer or put it in the fridge for a certain number of days or limited. I think fridge for like 24 hours, freezer for a few days. But
and I do not understand this business model. The idea that I would take this pizza that they've made, and it's a very good pizza, but it's higher price than your average
lot higher price
cooked pizza.
But don't you save on the taxes though? Because there's a 10% prepared food tax. 9%
in New Hampshire.
Just about 10%.
In New Hampshire, but there's no sales tax.
But
that's correct.
The pizza is more than 10% more than the cost of a cooked
It's
pizza.
an expensive pizza.
I see.
And the oven in which people cook pizzas is made specifically to make pizzas, and it does a better job than you putting your oven at home on the highest temperature possible and trying to make a good pizza.
Good point.
I gotta agree with you. I never understood it myself.
I don't understand it.
Once they started taking cryptocurrency, I started buying their pizzas, and I'm glad I did because they're actually really good.
They are very good pizzas, even when you make them here.
Right. So like the quality is very, very high.
Right, yeah.
So anyway, these folks have been taking cryptocurrency for a couple of years. They're into it. They actually got brought into it because they went to the Porcupine Freedom Festival, and then of course they're here in Keene, so we followed up with them and closed the deal.
Although they didn't take it this year, weirdly enough.
It was probably connections related.
Yeah, connections.
Because you're out in the campground, there's crappy internet. So I was there today. And it was because there's actually been some technical difficulties behind the scenes with AnyPay, sadly, but they're working on fixing it. And so I was kind of updating them on that. I actually brought them back a tablet. So I had my reasons for being there. And I was kind of talking to them. And she's like, hey, did you see our post? I was like, I'm not on Facebook. So we're on Instagram. Well, okay, I'm on Instagram. I'll follow you there. Their post was they are going to stop taking credit cards.
Good for them.
On October 1st. They're done taking credit cards.
Good for them.
And they're making a to-do about this. And of course, on their Instagram comments, somebody's like, "Well, what are you going to be accepting besides credit cards?" And they said cryptocurrencies and cash, and that's it. So I was really excited by that because that's pretty cool, and that means that more people are going to ask about, oh, well, what can I pay with? And then they're going to hear cryptocurrency. Oh, well, what's that? Oh, here's a flyer you can pick up right off the counter that explains cryptocurrency to you. So there's a perfect example.
I think they have a bank in their same little shopping center there. I think I passed it on the way.
Yeah.
So there you go. Yeah, it makes perfect sense. It's like, no, you could just go to the bank right there and just get some cash.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's going to inconvenience their customers with credit cards, but it would be interesting. They were busy, they're always busy, so I didn't stop to really talk to them about this. But I want to ask them, like, why'd you do it? Was it just you were tired of the fees? What were the reasons why you decided to, what percentage were the credit cards as far as your customers? what percentage of customers were using credit cards?
It was probably bad customer service and not pricing.
You mean from the credit card companies?
Right. What happens is these small business people have to deal with all kinds of crap from dealing with the banks. So, if somebody disputes a chargeback, and I don't imagine that's happening on pizza, but maybe it is. Whatever it is that the bank is in control of your money,
right?
Not you. And that's the difference between cash, whether it's cryptocurrency or USDs, whatever it is. You're in control of the money once it goes into the register. You decide when you're going to give a refund. You decide under what circumstances. And if the bank decides to freeze an account because some creditor or the government or whatever it is, they can absolutely do that. And businesses just get frustrated. Every time I talk to some online business person, PayPal is bound to come up because they hate them.
Yeah.
They hate them.
Yeah.
So anyway, that was my counterexample of here's a business that's actually in, 2018 getting rid of credit cards. So that counters this Market Watch article saying, it's great, everybody loves.
We found some minor, franchises that in some locations are no longer taking cash because they've got nothing but millennials paying bills there.
No. So you missed a detail here. Flatstick is a new mini chain.
Brand new.
So it's not a business that stopped taking cash. It's a business that started by never taking cash.
It never took cash.
Right. So, and this is where you'll see it. You'll see when I've seen these other articles before, they give examples. It's usually a business that's brand new. That way they're not cutting off an existing clientele, right? Because that's insulting.
The other thing is most businesses fail within just a couple of years.
Especially restaurants. First year, they're done.
So
80%.
So there's nothing saying that this is a good thing to add to your business model.
Right.
Like, show me
this could be a terrible decision.
Exactly.
Further, it's how hard is it for a company to take cash? Not very difficult.
Easy.
So as they get customers that come in and say, I can't pay with cash, well, keep your coffee and
bye.
Your little sandwich made of bean sprouts. I'm out of here. And then after that happens 20 or a dozen times or whatever, the manager starts seeing it. And, I got to drive up sales here.
Right.
And pretty soon they're going to take cash. This isn't just a puff piece. This is basically obfuscation.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's continue here, though. The piece from Market Watch. They're saying here that cash is on the ropes, although they also admit here that the Federal Reserve said in 2016 that 35% of U.S. transactions are still made in cash, and that the amount of cash, literally legal tender notes, being used around the world continues to rise. Plus, there are still plenty of obstacles to going cashless.
You know why the government doesn't like its own money, its own cash?
Can't track it.
Well, the things that they say about Bitcoin, it's used by terrorists, it's used by drug dealers, it's used in human trafficking, it's used in blah, 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 blah.
Yep.
You hear it over and over again. That may very well be true. The cryptocurrencies are used for those things, but it is true like quintuple, like so many more times in U.S. dollars. There
was a news article about that recently.
Of crime is the U.S. dollar.
Also, the currency of black projects. All of the things
the government's
doing, the CIA is doing, and all of that. It's mountains and mountains of paper U.S. I mean, didn't Barack Obama ship over a whole bunch of U.S. dollars in by the pallet by the pallet load over to Iran? Come on,
right? They put them in $50,000 bundles and they wrapped them in Saran wrap, and they called them footballs, and they would use them for payoffs. So just handing out $50,000 at a pop for whatever payoff it is.
They do say here there are obstacles to going cashless. For starters, the FDIC estimates that 7% of the U.S. population is still unbanked. In other words, they live an all-cash life.
Wait, how much?
7%.
Oh, I thought you said 70. Seven is still pretty high.
It's actually lower than I expected it to be. They're unbanked.
It depends on what the definition they are using of unbanked. So what they're probably saying is that they never receive a check, and they never because people who are using check cashing services are banked. They're just poorly banked.
Are they considered banked?
I think they're considered banked.
They're banks.
Yeah.
I would be interested.
They're
in
not a
seeing
Federal Reserve affiliate bank.
Yeah.
They're not FDIC insured, but they are banked.
I mean, they can cash a check.
They provide banking services.
Well, they say here, in other words, they live an all-cash life, so would be entirely shut out in a cashless society. Some also like the anonymity that comes with paying for cash. Others use cash for budgeting reasons, as in when you're out of cash, you stop spending.
It's a good idea.
It's easy to budget with cash.
Let's go on here. We'll continue. Your calls, your thoughts, certainly welcome. You want to weigh in on the cashless society. It's definitely being pushed by some of the big money people, the big banks, and in this case, MarketWatch.com. 855-450-FREE, 855-450-3733. This is Free Talk Live.
We have some good news. The indictments against Ross Ulbricht in the District of Maryland were dismissed with prejudice, meaning they can never be refiled. This is especially good because those indictments contain the only charge ever made that Ross engaged in murder for hire. This was a serious allegation that Ross Ulbricht denies. It was never prosecuted or ruled on by a jury, but was trumpeted by the federal government and the media as if it were proven fact. The Maryland court held these indictments for almost 5 years, poisoning Ross's case and leaving him under a cloud of unproven allegations. As explained in Ross's appeal to the Supreme Court, the fact that the judge used these allegations to give Ross a draconian sentence of double life without parole violated his Sixth Amendment right to a jury trial. Judges are required to issue sentences based on convictions decided by a jury, not unproven allegations never even charged at trial. Although this is a positive development, the dropped indictment will not set Ross free. Now, a presidential pardon is Ross's only hope of freedom. Sign the petition at freeross.org. freeross.org.
Your property and your family are precious. Protect them with Blink. Blink motion-activated HD cameras are wire-free, set up fast, and their batteries last up to 2 years. And Blink's live feed option lets you monitor what's happening in your home anytime, anywhere. No contracts, no subscriptions, and Blink works with Alexa. You can get 3 Blink cameras for way less than the other guys, plus an extra 15% off. Visit blinkprotect.com/FTL. blinkprotect.com/FTL. Blink is an Amazon company.
The Bitcoin.com wallet is a simple and powerful full-featured wallet that allows you to send and receive Bitcoin, BTC, and Bitcoin Cash, BCH, with anyone, anywhere in the world. It supports both single and multi-signature wallets and is available in multiple languages. The Bitcoin.com wallet is available on Windows, Linux, Mac, Android, and iOS devices. Use the Bitcoin.com wallet to buy, send, store, and receive both Bitcoin, BTC, and Bitcoin Cash, BCH. Learn more at wallet.bitcoin.com. That's wallet.bitcoin.com.
If you're looking for work, the person you are applying to may be even more nervous than you are. And the way things are now, your references have never been more important. Here are 3 tips. First, know that employers are checking. Every hire is under the microscope these days. Second, they won't just be checking references you provide. Figure that all of your ex-employers will get a call and be asked, would you hire him or her again? Third, assume you will be Googled. So before you apply, remove all those party animal photos from your Facebook page. Even if you're not in the job market, effective communication skills have never been more important, with money and attention so scarce now. For more tips for job seekers and getting better results in all your day-to-day communication, hit survivalspeech.com. I'm Holland Cook.
LRN.FM now has a Discord. Discord is a free text and voice chat platform, and we now have our own server with a bunch of channels at discord.lrn.fm. You can join other listeners as they chat about various things during our live shows, or anytime, day or night. Discord software is available cross-platform, so you can have it on whatever device you want and take your chats anywhere. Join our Discord at discord.lrn.fm. That's discord.lrn.fm.
Looking for a great real estate investment? Consider New Hampshire, which is ground zero for the Liberty Movement. Your first call should be to Mark Worden from Porcupine Real Estate. He's more than just a real estate agent. He's your New Hampshire concierge. Where are the best places to live? Do you want farm, city, the burbs, or forest? Do you want a duplex or multifamily building so that renters pay your mortgage? There are homes in all price ranges in New Hampshire, and Mark can help with financing too. Invest in liberty and property. Mark Worden can help.
PorcupineRealEstate.com. Do you love Twitter? Make sure you favorite the LRN.FM Twitter account so you can receive our tweets at twitter.lrn.fm. That's twitter.lrn.fm.
It's Free Talk Live. You can dial in toll-free, take control of the airwaves here. The number is 855-450-FREE, like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. And we have the Discord on-air call-in line rooms, discord.lrn.fm. I did mention briefly that AnyPay has been having some technical difficulties over the past few days, but I still love AnyPay. I'm still a big fan of what they're doing, and I know they're going to get it worked out. Actually, I've been led into the secretive AnyPay. I don't know if I'm even allowed to say this, but they didn't tell me I couldn't. So I've been led into their, like, they got their Slack, which is a chat thing where they talk with their programmers about, things they need to do. They led me into their there's this other sort of organizer program that they have. I forget what it's called, but I've been led into that. So I'm seeing like the behind the scenes of the bugs they need to fix, the features they're going to add, and I'm even more excited now because I get the back end view here of what they're up to. AnyPay is the way to accept cryptocurrency in real life, and when it's working, man, it works great. It's just there's some bumps in the road. I have to remind some of the merchants here locally who are using AnyPay, because that's the way. If you pay with crypto in Keene, New Hampshire, or in Portsmouth, you're paying with the AnyPay system. Yeah,
for sure.
And it's smooth, it's easy, and like I said, when it's working, it works well. But we are still here on the leading edge of cryptocurrency, right? Like this whole thing is so new. This has never been done before, this whole crypto thing. And it's only the first decade. We still haven't even crossed that 10-year mark. That's coming soon, but we haven't crossed the 10-year mark for Bitcoin yet. And so this, on the scale of money, is so brand new. And so you do have to keep in mind, if you're going to adopt AnyPay, there's going to be some bumps in the road. But right now, it's the best bet as far as merchant adoption. I was looking at alternatives recently to see what else there is out there. They don't even have it together like AnyPay does. So check them out at anypay.global. It allows you to accept Bitcoin, BTC, Dash, Zcash. I'll tell you this behind the scenes, they're working on Horizon. They're working on it. I haven't tested it yet, but I did notice it this week in the back end.
Horizon is the system. They're working on Zencash. Zen.
Good point.
Zen.
They're calling it Horizon in the back end. So I'm excited. I love what they do there. Go check them out at anypay.global. You want to get accepting crypto? It doesn't get any faster than this. What's it like signing up for a credit card company? You got to call the merchant services provider. You got to fill out paper, like multiple pages of government forms, bank applications. It's got to get approved. It's a weeks-long process at the quickest point. AnyPay, you go to anypay.global, create a username, create a password, you're in.
It honestly takes 30 seconds. Well, I set mine up at PorkFest, and I was there with the developers. They were like, set up your merchant account right now. 30 seconds, dude. 30 seconds.
There's not even... I've criticized them because it's so fast.
Yeah,
because they're not even checking the user... Like, you can put anything you want in for a username and password.
Right.
There's no checks on... You want to put a two-letter password, you can do that. That's bad. That's bad security. But, if you want to be a bad security, it's up to you. So it's totally in your, level of decision. You get to decide what to do here. Anyway, you put in the username and password. You get into the back end. You put in your cryptocurrency destination wallet, so your personal Dash address or Bitcoin address, and that's it. Then you load the app on the point of sale device, and you're done. I mean, we're talking about maximum. If you already have a crypto wallet and you already have a tablet, you're talking 5 minutes for the whole thing.
Yeah, you're good to go
for the whole thing.
Yeah.
It's so easy. Anypay.global. Check them out. All right, let's go to Robert in Vermont. We've been talking about the so-called cashless society. It's being pimped out by, of course, the credit card companies, but also their affiliates at places like MarketWatch. Go ahead, Robert. You're on Free Talk Live.
Thanks for taking my call.
Yes, sir.
First of all, I just want to give a kudos shout out there for Dogecoin. It's just done fantastic in the last week or so.
You love your Dogecoin.
Dogecoin has a lot of transactions.
But hey, I'm making money, and that's all that matters.
There you go.
But that's not why I called.
All right.
I was listening to you guys were talking about, cashless society and stuff like that, and it brought a question in my head where if that went into effect and it was just we had an all cashless society, what kind of effect would it have on gold and silver in terms of its market value?
If people replaced the absence of cash with something else, gold and silver might become a little more useful. People may be more interested in trading silver, but of course we're now in the cryptocurrency age where if one of the benefits of cash is privacy, then you turn to something like Horizon or Monero or one of these other cryptocurrencies that's based in a privacy system, and you've got instant transactions with all of the safety and security of cryptocurrency, and you can prevent the government from seeing what you're doing.
Okay,
it's hard to go backwards to gold and silver. I think
gold and silver are not very portable. And they are also very difficult in the realm of divisibility.
You can't make change easily.
No, which is the whole reason for government fiat in the first place. Nobody's going back to gold and silver coins.
I did live in a cashless society for
in prison?
5 years. Part of the time I was in prison, they had outlawed when I first started, you were allowed to have 1s and 5s. But then they went to this ID card that you had to have on you at all times, and it was a disciplinary report if you didn't have it on, hanging on at least in your pocket if you didn't have it hanging on your shirt. It had some kind of magnetic strip or whatever, some readable thing on it, and that had your account that it would immediately pull up in the canteen. But obviously, business was being done in the prison that was outside of the realm. And
were cigarettes
tuna fish?
What were some of the most common forms of currency?
Packs of Taylors, as tailor-made cigarettes is what they called them. And that was number one, even for people who did not smoke.
Right. Well, that's best if you don't smoke, because then you're not smoking your own supply, right?
They would also do just basically barter lists. So somebody would say, well, this person owes me $37 from playing hearts or whatever, and spades, whatever it might be, whatever the game might have been, and here's your list of things that you must buy me off of your card in the canteen. So they would just make a grocery list. They'll say, look, I'll take it as much as I can get this week, and then the remainder of it next week, because I think you could only spend $35 per week at the time, and this is some time ago, and that was the deal. And I recall soups. I will never forget this. 65 cents for in the styrofoam cup Marchand ramen noodle.
Oh, ramen noodle. Yeah.
I think that, Robert, regarding gold and silver, a lot of us still have that kind of nostalgia for it, that fond memory. It's still beautiful. It's still wonderful to look at. I still have a piece in my wallet that I carry around with me, a little half-ounce silver piece, but I've never actually pulled it out to try to pay for anything with it.
Right.
Because like Vin says here, you can't easily make change for it. Even if you have the smaller size pieces.
I like old mercury dimes. So they're a small bit of silver.
Yeah.
They're also
silver.
harder because they've been mixed with tin or something hard. I don't know what. And they also look distinctive. So if you try to use an Eisenhower dime that has silver in it, it's going to be mistaken very easily for a regular dime, which doesn't have silver in it, and that's why I like the Mercuries.
Yeah, I agree with Vin on this one. I don't think we're going backward on that, even if cash disappeared
Probably
tomorrow.
not.
Thanks for the call tonight, Robert.
Hookers are already taking cryptocurrency. How in the hell are they going to go backwards?
Indeed. All right, more on the way here. Your calls and thoughts. You can weigh in on the cashless society if you've got some experience in it. It's Free Talk Live.
I'm David Hall, founder of Diamond Gusset, where we're proud of our 100% grown and sewn American-made jeans. Whether you're out for dinner, working on the farm, or on the road, Diamond Gusset Jeans offers a full spectrum of styles and sizes for any occasion. To find yours, visit gusset.com. That's GUSSET.com. Our loyal customers enable us to continue sponsoring Liberty media outlets like the one you're listening to. In Liberty, David Hall, Diamond Gusset Jean Company.
Do the letters IRS give you anxiety? I'm Dan Pilla. I've defended people from the IRS for more than 40 years. My book, How to Get Tax Amnesty, created the tax resolution industry and is responsible for helping hundreds of thousands of people. It can help you too. If you're a non-filer or facing IRS enforcement right now, your case is unique. You need real help, not cookie-cutter advice. My clients get my personal attention. Buy my book at danpilla.com and get a free consultation directly with me. That's danpilla.com. Let's start solving your tax problem right now.
Free Talk Live.
It's not just zoning rules, it's everything.
It's true.
It's everything. There's
so many rules.
many laws. You can't possibly know them. It's physically an impossibility to know the laws. You know not to hurt other people. I don't need a law telling me to do that. But the rest of them, totally inaccessible.
It's true.
It's written in legalese. If you don't have training in reading that crap, it might as well be a foreign language. And as you pointed out, it doesn't matter if you can read it.
I thought I had them dead to rights. And these bureaucrats, they just like, no, we do whatever we want here at the zoning board.
Yeah, that's right.
And you'll kiss our butts.
Peon, serf,
you'll
slave.
You'll do what we say.
Yeah. Why label them citizens?
Oh.
Why not just call it what it is? You're a serf. You're a slave.
Free Talk Live, 7 nights a week from 7 to 10 Eastern, live on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
Are you tired of governments murdering people around the world? Stop using their money. There is an alternative. Bitcoin is a stateless, free market, non-political currency. Bitcoin cannot be inflated or controlled by any government. By using their money, you are helping the state. Stop doing it. You have an incredible alternative available now. Learn it, use it, spread it. Get started with Bitcoin at Bitcoin.com. That's Bitcoin.com.
The 3 most important things you can do for Free Talk Live are 1. Share 1 episode a week on Facebook or in some other social networking site. 2. Buy the things you buy online through shop.freetalklive.com. 3. Give $5 a month to the AMP program. It's my firm belief that Free Talk Live's AMP program is the best use of your charitable dollar among liberty-oriented organizations. Support all the organizations you love. But make sure you give $5 a month to AMP at amp.freetalklive.com.
Is spreading the message of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace around the globe worth $2 per month to you? As you may already know, in addition to our internet feed, LRN.FM broadcasts on free-to-air satellite across North and Central America, as well as Sub-Saharan Africa. And we've been available on satellite for free 24/7 since 2010. The LRN.FM free-to-air satellite signal is reaching some of the most oppressive regimes in the world, and there's no doubt our ideas are making an impact. You can learn more about the channel's impact by watching the 3-minute video at fund.lrn.fm. If you'd like to help free minds globally with our ideas of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace, you can donate as little as $2 per month via fund.lrn.fm. You can help us continue and expand our satellite broadcast to multiple continents. Visit fund.lrn.fm today, and thank you for your help. Don't forget to share the link on social media. That's fund.lrn.fm.
You can put the Liberty Radio Network on the air in your area. Visit broadcast.lrn.fm to learn how. Broadcast.lrn.fm.
It is Free Talk Live. We got time for you if you want to join us. Toll-free number 855-450-FREE. Like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. We've got the Discord call-in line rooms. You just jump on over to discord.lrn.fm and hop on into one of those. There are 3 of them available to you. And if we ever have a problem where they're constantly being occupied, we can always add more. So head over to discord.lrn.fm. I mentioned earlier Anarchapulco as something that I have attended, and Mark, you have as well. In fact, you've been to, I think, 3 of the 4.
I emceed the first one.
I have been to 2 of the 4, and Vin, you've been to 1?
I've been to
2?
one. I've been to one.
That's where we met, actually, was
yes,
at 2017, before you had moved to New Hampshire, and that's, I think, how you found out about what was going on.
You, listening to you speak in Anarchapulco was where the spark was sparked for me.
I'm happy to do my job. That's what I do. I let people know about the amazing movement here. But what's happening down in Acapulco is pretty cool, too, because they've got basically the best libertarian, voluntarist, anarchist convention party thing that you can possibly imagine. I've been to a bunch of, the Porcupine Freedom Festival. It's a great event. There's no doubt about it. But this event, it's topped it. This year in 2018, they had 1,700 people attending Anarchapulco. It was sold out. And that 1,700 is about the peak of what PorcFest was when it peaked several years ago. So right now, Anarchapulco's the biggest event by far. And it's also a lot of fun because it attracts people from all around the globe. Because there's some people, honestly, they don't want to come to the United States.
Yep.
PorkFest may be a great event. They're not coming because it's in the United States.
Well, and it's not in a tropical location where you can lay out by the pool and drink Mai Tais.
There's a pool at PorkFest, but it's not the same as a huge resort that we're going to be at again in 2019. And I hear you're coming back.
Yes,
in
I'll be back. Yes,
it's also an incredible value as far as an event. You're talking about 4 or 5 days.
February 14th through the 19th. So yeah, basically a 5-day event.
Yeah, that didn't even be more than that because it's 6 days.
Yeah, 5 nights. So yeah.
Okay, 6 days event for, at this point, the last I saw, $450
for one ticket.
Far less than $100. And there's by the way, an add-on ticket. So if you're bringing your spouse or something, there's a discount for that. Don't forget, there's a discount that we offer.
Right, because you're a Free Talk Live listener, you get 15% off by going to anarchapulco.com using code FTL when you get your tickets.
Please come out and hang out with us. It's going to be a blast. I really enjoyed it the last time, and I'll really enjoy seeing you.
Yeah, it was great. And, of course, there's great speakers, too. You know, if that's the reason you want to go to these things, there's Ron Paul is going to be there speaking, and it doesn't get bigger than Ron Paul. Yeah. Of course, also Judge Napolitano. He'll be there for the first time ever.
I think I'm more excited about seeing Judge Nap.
Doug, have you met him in person before?
I've met him
We've had
briefly.
him on the show. I know that remotely. But Larkin Rose, Doug Casey, many more names still to be announced. Again, we're still about 6 months out from this, February 14th through the 19th. Mark your calendars now. Start getting your plans put together. They're going to be discussing so many different topics: entrepreneurship, investments, politics, philosophy, health, sustainability, lifestyles, and personal relationships for, it says here 4 days, but that can't be right if it's the 14th through the 19th. That's more than
It might be a
4 days.
kickoff day on the 14th, though. You know how they often do that.
Check it out, anarchapulco.com. It's the key liberty event on the planet right now, and it's a lot of fun. The location couldn't be any better. It's a beautiful resort, huge. In fact, this time they're going to be taking up the larger space.
I got 14th through the 17th here on their website.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, then we need to update this right now because this has been. So we've been telling people the 19th for more than a month.
Well, there are things definitely going on the 19th.
Oh, so it's one of those things where they've got the official
They have the add-on.
Right.
There's packages that go on both sides of the event. You can literally spend 2 weeks.
You can spend 2 weeks. Okay. Gotcha. Well, we need to figure out what days we should be promoting at the minimum.
We should be consistent with the website.
Right. Anarchapulco.com, code FTL, get your 15% off. We're looking forward to seeing you there. As we continue, we'll take your calls and thoughts about what you want. We go to the Discord on-air call-in line room where David is on the line in New Mexico. Go ahead, David.
Yeah, in Albuquerque, New Mexico.
You're on the air.
You're cashless. Hello?
Yep, we have you. Go ahead.
Yeah. You're cashless society, but first of all,
it ain't mine.
Dogecoin.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, it's you know the difference between literal and figurative, right?
Sure.
Dogecoin, I might have missed something in the history of that, people talking about it, but I immediately left to myself upon viewing that item, saw Dogecoin, Dogecoin. Is that what the founder intended? Has somebody else figured that out, or am I just out here by myself?
No, it's an interesting observation.
It's the other side of it. Is that's meme that somewhere along the line people started making. People want to talk for their dogs and talk for their cats. Like I can has hamburger or cheeseburger and all this stuff that people do on the internet. And one of the ways that people were talking was obviously dogs and cats don't speak English really well, and so instead of saying dog about other dogs, they talk as a doge or a doggy, and people since it was written, the meme was written as opposed to being spoken, people didn't really know what the original author meant. It's like GIF and a GIF, and the arguments over that is that basically it's the same thing, David, is the argument between Doge or Doggy coin. But
everybody calls it Doge. In the cryptocurrency world, everybody calls it Doge.
That's correct. Yeah. And the guy
that's...
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I was going to say, thanks for filling that piece of information, bridges the gap for me. Now I understand how that all transpired. I just couldn't figure out why. I never heard anybody refer to it as dog e-coin or doggy coin. But I see what you.
Yeah, it was based on a meme of a Shiba Inu, I believe.
Yes.
That has become fairly, ubiquitous.
Right. And on your cashless society, the other day on your program, we were talking about student loans, and I was pointing out how student loans is a good way for the powers that be, government and their partners outside of government, to tap whatever 2%, 4% of that value while you pay on it over the entirety of your life. And I didn't hear you mention, you might have, but I was paying pretty close attention to see if you would mention this point of the cashless society. You did discuss how credit cards take 1% to 5% for the handling. But if
it's more at least 3% for businesses that they have to pay on every credit card transaction. Right. But sorry, go ahead.
Right. And if the government forces that, forces cash out and forces all transactions to be that way, in addition to the things that you did list, and yes, you did mention that credit card companies love it because if they get more of the cash action, then they get there's more volume to take.
Correct. They make even more
3% on. Yep. But what I didn't hear mentioned was that if you go to cashless, that I consider, you do too, but I consider the government a racket, and this is just one more piece of action that they're getting in on, so that they can funnel to their banker friends, whatever 1%, 2%, 3%, 5% of every transaction that goes on, and then that the banker friends then funnel back contributions.
Oh yeah, of course.
Right. And also the bigger picture is, like I said, when I got hit by my government 11 years ago, I started analyzing everything that they do, and if you look closely, I see that virtually every transaction in society, and I'm not just talking about monetary transactions, but everything that transacts in relationships in society that involves government and business, it's all slowly being engineered to the maximum advantage of the powers that be to take wealth and control from you. And I mean every little thing, from the schools to the MVD to the cashless society.
That's what government is all about. It's all about extracting wealth and obedience from people to the benefit of the politically connected. That's what it's all about. Thank you, David. Good call. I appreciate the observations. The toll-free number here tonight, if you want to join us, 855-450-FREE. We got time for you if you get on the lines with us now. You don't have to talk about the cashless society, though. You can bring up anything that is on your mind. 855-450-3733. This is Free Talk Live.
Bitcoin.com wants you to know about SaveItPurse.com. Since launching in 2014, over 200,000 users have saved an average of 15% for a combined $4 million using Bitcoin, or BTC. And now you can use Bitcoin Cash, BCH, to fund your account. You can save between 5 to 33% on things you're going to buy anyway when you shop using SaveItPurse.com. Add items to your cart, fund your account, select your discount, and save. SaveItPurse.com. Save ATPurse.com.
What's more profitable, running your business or doing bookkeeping? Doing your business, of course, but you want to keep your books so that you can maximize your tax savings, right? What if I told you that there's a person that's a bookkeeper, accountant, and law school graduate that's also a hardcore libertarian?
My name is Melanie Johnson, and I hate the state. I will aggressively help you to minimize your tax exposure and maximize profits, all while staying within the law.
Melanie's your best choice for your taxes and bookkeeping needs. Go to tax.freetalklive.com and check out our website, tax.freetalklive.com.
Hello, this is Dr. Bill Deagle, MD of NutriMedical.com, announcing the breakthrough Red Deer Velvet DR. It delivers the protected building blocks of all organs and tissues, allowing your own stem cells as architects and engineers to regenerate you. Not since fetal life, when aging does not occur, has such an amazing NutriMed been available to help heal you and regenerate you. Anti-aging requires that you correct mineral, activated nutraceutical, and jump the gene defects and poor diet you have to deliver the cellular tools for regeneration. You must remove old damaged cells and replace them with your young healthy cells to wind the biological clock to a younger you. Order your Red Deer Velvet DR now at NutriMedical.com 24/7 or 888-212-8871. That's NutriMedical, N-U-T-R-I, Medical, M-E-D-I-C-A-L.com. or call our order line 888-212-8871.
Hi, I'm Derek J. To me, an activist's calling is to actively work to advance a cause. The cause for which I work is personal freedom. I believe my life is best when I engage in voluntary interactions and self-government. I reject the idea that anyone else has a higher claim to my life or my body than I do. I see people who call themselves the government as a threat to my personal freedom. I realize you may feel differently, but my relationship with the people who call themselves the government is completely involuntary. If Starbucks used some of its money to drop bombs, I wouldn't shop there. So why would I support the American empire? The empire does not require my consent.
Derek J's Victimless Crime Spree. Watch it for free and order the Director's Cut DVD at victimlesscrimespree.com. That's victimlesscrimespree.com. Did you know you can watch Free Talk Live during our live shows 7 days a week from 7 to 10 p.m. Eastern via our studio cams at cam.freetalklive.com? Plus, you can chat with other listeners while you watch, all totally free. Now that our live video stream is hosted by YouTube, our video archives will be online even faster, so be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Listen, watch, and chat all free at cam.freetalklive.com. That's cam.freetalklive.com.
In Survivor Max 2, School Bites, Max must scavenge through a wasteland swarming with the undead. Desperate to find the medicine he needs, he discovers a community of survivors at his former school. Has he finally found the safe haven he's been looking for, or will he discover that school bites? Look for Survivor Max on Facebook, read reviews on Amazon, and read Chapter 1 at survivormax.com.
Help get LRN.FM into more ears. Visit promote.lrn.fm for a free bumper sticker, flyers, banners, graphics, and more. Promote.lrn.fm.
It's Free Talk Live. Moments remain, enough time for you. If you dial in now, you can take control of the airwaves here. Our number is 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. And then there's the Discord on-air call-in line rooms over at discord.lrn.fm. So jump into those if you want to get on the air with us and talk about what you want. If you want to follow Free Talk Live on social media, well, we've got a few different options for you. So, of course, there's Facebook, there's Twitter. You can go to either Facebook or Twitter.freetalklive.com, and it'll take you right to whichever one of those pages you prefer to go and follow. There's also newer media, and I was telling Vin about Mastodon off the air here. This is a decentralized sort of variant or copy or whatever of Twitter. They sort of borrowed the format of Twitter with the hashtags and the @ symbols and the tagging and all that. And they've done it decentralized, meaning that you can't be shut down by the powers that be if you're on this Mastodon platform. So we, of course, if you've been paying attention to the news this summer, there have been people like Alex Jones and others who've had their accounts shut down or banned from these different platforms. This is essentially a censorship-proof platform for libertarians and other people to participate in. So you can follow our toots, as they are called, on Mastodon by going to toot.freetalklive.com. That'll take you to our Liberdon server. Yep, they're calling them toots. And,
well, it's funny.
It's cute. It's funny.
I like it.
So check that out. You can follow us on Mastodon. And also, you can follow us on Telegram, because that's where we're originating all of our social media posts now. Is through our Telegram channel. So Telegram's a great chat app for person-to-person and for group chatting, but a couple years ago they added channels to that, which means that people who want to just simply follow and not be able to talk back just to see what you're posting about can follow. Go to telegram.freetalklive.com, and that'll pop you right into our Telegram channel, and then you get our updates as soon as they're posted. We've got like 19 members on our Telegram channel. So not a very big thing, but we don't push it out there a whole lot. But maybe we should. So check us out. Twitter, Facebook, Telegram, and Toots. Again, toot.freetalklive.com. TOOT.freetalklive.com for the Mastodon server. All right, so let's go to more of your calls and thoughts as we continue. Sarah is on the line in New Mexico. Sarah, you're on Free Talk Live. Go ahead.
Yes. Did you know that there are actually 5
underground military bases in the state of Carolina.
No, I didn't know that. Oh. How would I have known that?
Well,
Carolina isn't a state.
Which Carolina?
There's a lady that lives in Carolina.
Carolina's still not a state.
She's all the way over in New Mexico. Forgive her. She doesn't know.
I was listening to a conspiracy radio show, and I happen to believe it. And it's
we know. You believe anything you're told by conspiracy
demonstrably provable statement that Carolina does not exist as a state.
Well, there is a North and South Carolina.
Those are states. South Carolina.
South Carolina.
Okay.
Is a state of South Carolina, and actually she used to.
How many underground bunkers are in the state of South Carolina?
No, underground military bases.
Okay. That's a big thing.
And so the people that with the high clearances that work in the bases are telling her about these bases in secret, obviously, and then
telling who?
They want to remain. Well, this lady that has a website, and
a lady with a website.
I should have grabbed a pen and paper really fast. They did repeat it like 6 times.
So you wrote it down.
I was trying to remember, and then I could not. I'm trying to remember. I didn't have my pen and paper, but she has a website that you could go find out about it.
Wait, so you didn't have your pen and paper, so you don't know what the website is?
Well, that's correct. That was.
Well, then what good is this? How are we supposed to verify the...
I think maybe you could just Google 6 underground military bases in South Carolina.
We probably could.
5.
Only 5.
Oh, 5. Okay, don't Google.
Pay
don't
attention.
put 6. Don't put 6. That will not return the correct result.
Okay, so what are they doing with these underground military bases? Allegedly.
Well, I mean, you know what? I guess the website would describe it more, but it's supposed to be a big secret. And these people that are whistleblowers, or they have really high clearances, and they are not supposed to tell anybody, but they trust her enough to tell her. So, but I think it's got to do with the like I said, nuclear bomb. One of the big reasons is nuclear bomb. And I was told that they have aliens down there, and
they just got it all down there. Nuclear bombs, aliens, underground bases.
Of course, a scientific.
Was it? Sorry to interrupt you, Sarah. Was it subterraneanbases.com? That's what Google came up with here.
No, it's something else. It's like 4 or 5 words.
4 or 5 words.
I tried to remember the
That's
first
a long
3.
Let me just let you know. I know, Sarah, you don't really know web stuff, but the fewer words, the better as far as a web URL is concerned.
Sure.
If you're trying to come up with, what should I call my website?
Says the guy with Free Talk Live.
That's only 3, and they're short. Have you ever had trouble remembering that website, Mark?
No, but we did have the opportunity to buy FTL.fm, and I really, really regret not having just thrown the $15 or whatever it was at you.
Way more than $15 for a 3-letter .fm.
.fm?
Yeah.
You got LRN.fm.
Yeah, and I pay $70 a year for that.
I think we should have paid it.
Well, I gave you the opportunity to. You can go and buy it right now if you want.
It's probably not for sale.
I doubt that anybody's squatting that. Go and check it.
Well, they are now. If they weren't before, they're rushing to their keyboards to squat it before you try to go buy it.
I'm not going to promote FTL.fm. We've been promoting freetalklive.com for
it'd be an easy way to get
more than
emails,
a decade. Anyway, go ahead, Sarah.
She 5 locations, like a big, huge, it's a national park. And all of these sites are very, very prominent in state of Carolina.
Are they prominent, or are they prominent, or are they secret? Because you can't be. You can pick one. You could either be prominent or you could be secret.
But it's like they, like Wyoming national. There's a big national park that everybody knows about, and it's underneath that. But it's supposed to be a top government.
Did you say Wyoming?
No, I'm not saying Wyoming, but I mean, if there's the large national park in South Carolina, it's underneath that one. And it's underneath another.
Keep in mind, Sarah also believes that people live on the moon. I would just like to remind our listeners that of the things that Sarah believes, this is probably one of the more believable ones. I mean, it's not unbelievable that the military would have an underground base. Whether they have 5 in one state, I don't know. Obviously, there's no real way to verify this information because they're secret.
They have underground bases in Nevada for sure. There's no question about it.
Mm-hmm.
I think keeping underground bases in South Carolina, 5 of them, keeping them secret, seems like that would be a yeoman's job.
Well,
to
right,
do.
because everybody who's on the base has to keep it secret.
So they can't even leave.
They're telling this lady in secret. They're supposed, they're anonymous. They don't want to be found. They might get put in jail or get killed or whatever the government's going to do to them. But they trust her enough where that she could put these on, and then she's not going to disclose who they are. And they have like really high clearances, secret government clearances, but they're
This is exciting to you, isn't it,
If they
Sarah?
have secret government clearances, they aren't giving information to this lady.
And if this lady has information from people with secret government clearances, how is she still alive?
Right.
If any of this is true in any way.
Well, the thing about it is that they just the people that are telling this with the clearance, she is not the one with a high clearance. These people are, and they remain anonymous. But you know the Truman Hole in Pennsylvania.
The Truman Hole?
Yeah, the mountain, the bunker for the Truman. It's the inside the mountain. They cut out a mountain. It was to hide Truman during nuclear war. But that was there since the 1940s. The bunker. And the whole state of Pennsylvania.
You've really got a
knows
thing
about it.
for underground bunkers.
I do too. I like them.
Yeah?
I think they're very interesting. I prefer mine buried in a mountain, though.
Would you ever live in one, Sarah, if you could have your own underground bunker to just go live in? Would you ever do that?
Well, you know what? It costs about $3 million.
What if welfare paid for it?
There's a bunker.
You know what?
There's a home for sale in New Hampshire that's a regular price.
I want my answer. Mark, Sarah, go ahead. What if welfare paid for the underground bunker? Would you live there?
You know what? I think it's going to come to the time that we're going to need but they don't want poor people alive.
Yeah, they're definitely not going to pay for an underground bunker. You're absolutely right about that. That's the one thing you're right about so far here tonight, for sure. Thank you for the call tonight, Sarah.
What would be the benefit? Why in the world would the government want to keep people who are sponging alive at that given time? Why would they want to keep anybody alive, frankly? I mean, the only people that they ever have any plans
Well,
of
people like
keeping
Sarah vote for more welfare.
The only people that they intend to... If the nation is going to be wiped out, or even in part wiped out, the only people that they're going to attempt to save are high-ranking government officials and whomever is going to serve them.
That's true. Check out Vin Armani over at vinarmani.com. He's got a brand new show he's doing called Destination Unknown. And we're going to get it on LRN.FM very, very soon. So, in the meantime, between now and tomorrow night, you can join us online over at freetalklive.com, and we will look forward to seeing you there and then. And don't forget to join the AMP program at amp.freetalklive.com for $5 a month. We'd appreciate it.
Free Press Publications is an independent, alternative media and publishing company founded in June 2009 with the mission of ensuring a free press for the freedom movement, and is committed to spreading the message of peace, freedom, love, and liberty. FPP also gives new authors an avenue for publishing freedom-oriented material. FPP brings you daily news and commentary on the website fpp.cc, as well as a daily 5-minute newscast, FPP Radio News, and weekly news, views, and commentary in the FPP Freedom Minute and Peace, Love, Liberty Radio at fppradio.com, and the monthly newspaper FPP News at news.fpp.cc. Find FPP online at fpp.cc. That's fpp.cc, as in Creative Commons.
I love My Magic Mud. I drink a lot of coffee. I had stains on my teeth. Then I found My Magic Mud, and I was told it would remove stains. So I paid attention when I brushed the first time. My Magic Mud is black tooth powder, and the difference it made in my teeth in one application was noticeable. With 4, my teeth were as white as you normal folks out there. Please go to mymagicmud.com and buy a jar. There's 150 applications for $25. You can use Bitcoin, mymagicmud.com.
Did you know we've taken our LRN.FM telephone listen line to a new level with the LRN.FM audio on demand line? Now you can call 712-770-8447 anytime and listen to LRN.FM's live feed. And you can listen to a bunch of our original shows on demand. Long distance fees may apply. Just dial 712-770-8447 and choose from the menu. 712-770-8447.
The latest episode of Declare Your Independence is next, after the news, here on the Liberty Radio Network, LRN.FM.
From Keene in the Shire, the Liberty Media capital of the world, this is Darrell W. Perry, host of FPP Radio News for Tuesday, September 11th, 2018. Silver is trading at $14.12 per ounce. Gold is valued at $1,195 per ounce. Zen is trading at $16, and the average price of Bitcoin is $6,276. Antiwar.com reports early in President Obama's time in office, CIA drone strikes became largely common and extremely controversial. The large-scale killing done publicly, but with the CIA refusing even basic transparency, was ultimately scaled back shortly before Obama left office, with a transfer of much of the drone campaign from the CIA to the Pentagon. With growing focus on Africa and the Pentagon not having a substantial existing infrastructure there, however, the CIA is making a comeback. After former CIA Director Mike Pompeo started pushing the matter with Trump, limits on CIA drone flights were scaled back. Across Africa, but especially in Niger and Libya, CIA flights are soaring. Officials say that so far they mostly have been surveillance flights, but lethal attacks are a virtual certainty and very soon because of growing CIA interest in attacks in southern Libya. A key factor in this shift was the Niger ambush incident in which 4 U.S. soldiers were killed. The U.S. almost immediately started hectoring the government of Niger for permission to use the drone base there for armed flights, as previously only surveillance was allowed. Niger gave in, and now the base that had been growing is launching armed U.S. drones. With President Trump pushing the Pentagon to be less and less transparent, the CIA resumption of drone killings will lead to even more opacity, as fatal drone strikes will be able to be unreported by both sides, leaving it uncertain which actually carried out any specific attack. Zencash has changed their name to Horizon to better represent their transition from a cryptocurrency to a pioneering platform that protects consumer data. They're working towards the day when anyone will be able to build privacy-based applications on the Horizon platform and generate income from them. This will allow Horizon to bring thousands of real-life services to the community. Services that provide freedom, utility, and privacy. Learn more at horizon.global and join the Horizon community. HORIZEN.global. Reuters reports Hurricane Florence, the most powerful storm to menace the U.S. mainland this year, intensified into a Category 4 hurricane as it howled closer to the Carolinas on Monday, prompting evacuation of more than 1 million people to higher ground. Packing maximum sustained winds of 130 miles per hour, the storm was due to gain even greater strength before making landfall on Thursday, bringing heavy rains with the potential to unleash widespread severe flooding, according to the National Hurricane Center. The NHC, based in Miami, said in a bulletin Florence is expected to be an extremely dangerous major hurricane through Thursday. Maps of the storm's trajectory showed it's likely to come ashore somewhere near the border of North and South Carolina. The governors of both states declared states of emergency. South Carolina Governor Henry McMaster estimated about 1 million residents would flee the coast of his state following earlier orders on the evacuation of more than 50,000 people from the southernmost Outer Banks barrier islands of North Carolina. An estimated 250,000 more people from the northern Outer Banks were due to be sent to higher ground starting Tuesday at midday. North Carolina Governor Roy Cooper said at a news conference, "We're in the bullseye. This is going to be a statewide event." Florence grew into a major hurricane on Monday morning and was upgraded again to a Category 4 on the 5-step Saffir-Simpson scale of hurricane strengths at midday as its top sustained wind speeds reached 130 miles per hour. The United States was hit with a series of high-powered hurricanes last year, including Hurricane Maria, which killed about 300,000 people in Puerto Rico, and Hurricane Harvey, Harvey, which killed 68 and caused an estimated $1.25 billion in damage from catastrophic flooding in Houston. President Donald Trump, whose administration was harshly criticized for being slow to respond to Hurricane Maria in Puerto Rico, canceled a political rally planned on Friday in Jackson, Mississippi over safety concerns related to Florence. The NHC said Florence could bring a deadly coastal storm surge and inland flooding as far north as Virginia. Immediately to the north of Virginia, Maryland Governor Larry Hogan said his state was also preparing for the potential of historic, catastrophic, life-threatening flooding. An NHC spokesman said historically 90% of fatalities from hurricanes, tropical storms, and tropical depressions have been caused by water. Some 27% of the deaths have come from rain-driven flooding, sometimes hundreds of miles inland. You can support FPP Radio by joining the Fans program. To learn more or to join the Fans program, visit fans.fppradio.com. That's fans.fppradio.com. This has been FPP Radio News. Online at fppradio.com.
From the day an ancient cave dweller painted yet another f***ing elk hunt on a wall in 15,000 BC, to Gary Marshall's 1974 discovery of 13 weather-beaten North Dakotan coal miners that would go on to become the cast of Happy Days, The Onion looks back at This Week in History. On June 17, 1954, the effects of the previous month's historic Supreme Court ruling in Brown versus the Board of Education provided black students with the educational opportunity of experiencing racism firsthand in desegregated schools. Up until that point, African American pupils could only endure racial slurs and death threats in city streets or near their homes. And on June 24, 1784, 13-year-old Edward Warren took the first hot air balloon flight, becoming the first American to urinate on a crowd from 100 feet in the air. And that was what happened this week in history.
This is the Onion News Network.
And now, live from the studios of Freedom's Phoenix, Ernest Hancock.
Believe me when I say we have a difficult time ahead of us. But if we are to be prepared for it, we must first shed our fear of it. I stand here without fear because I remember that I am here not because of the path that lies before me, but because of the path that lies behind me. I remember that for 100 years we have fought these machines. And after a century of war, I remember that which matters most. We are still here! Let us make them remember. We are not afraid!
No fear here, and declare your independence from me. Ernest Hancock here in Phoenix, Arizona, not from the BEA beautiful studios of freedomsphoenix.com. All right, this is what we're going to do today. You know, we got Davy Barker's going to sit in, and we're working, like in the breaks and stuff, and he's working on a bunch of stuff. We might get to talk about it. This week, we're going to kind of leave some openings and everything. There's a lot of stuff we're working on we want to share with y'all. But today, in the third hour, and we'll go probably long, will be Mr. Frank Tambury. Mr. Frank Tambury, Trump Report. Trump Report. Okay, so we're going to be doing that in the third hour and plus. In the second hour, Tim Pachote, the Libertarian Advisor.com, crypto advisor.com. Now, this is what Crypto Wealth Advisor.com. Now, what's happened is we have a, finally, after a year, it's been a year, just over a year, it was August last year, that, there needs to be some crypto investment and how we can, I directed IRA and put, especially when crypto's low now, if you get it now,